What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? All right, I hear myself. Everybody. All right, I hear myself. Okay, okay, Live Center, that's why. All right, I hear myself. Okay, okay, Live Center, that's why. Let's go there, close that out. All right, we're almost ready to make comics. Hi, buddy. Whoa, what's up, Bello Bear? Harley's here, right? I'm talking to everybody right there. She looks a little confused. Top chat. Let's go to live chat. That looks pretty good. I think we should be good. Except LinkedIn, I can't get going for some reason. Let me hide that stuff. What is it? Why do you have to sit in front of Daddy, huh? You gotta sit and block everything. Okay. As usual. Okay. We'll start soon. Waiting for host. I'm trying to add LinkedIn to my streams today, and it's been a bit of a pain. So bear with me while we work our way through it. Let me see if I can activate the stream. Yeah, it does not want to go live. LinkedIn. Output settings. Yeah, that looks fine. Close. Yeah, it doesn't want to go live. It does not want to work. Poop. All right, let me try. Let's leave this thing with Jigger. Chat. Manage. Networking, analyze details. Pre-live. Okay, great. Why am I pre-live? All right, let's move this over here. Ah, some of a networking. No details. Details. There we go. Oh yeah, I need to get back to the live center. What's going on, everybody? I'm trying to get my I'm trying to trying to do the stream to LinkedIn as well today, and it is not cooperating whatsoever. So bear with me while I try to get this thing figured out. We might have to dump the LinkedIn stream, and I'll get this figured out another time. All right, yeah, we look good there. That looks fine. Okay, got our stream key. I'm looking at my other screen in case anybody's wondering. Yeah, we should be good to go. I don't know why it's not working. Let's double check that's the same stream. Sorry, I'm in the middle of I'm trying to add our buddies on LinkedIn, do the stream there as well, but it's giving me grief. So bear with me for a second. If I can't get this going here shortly, I am just going to have to dump it. All right, let's try that one. I don't know why it's not working. Everything should be set up right, but it's always something when it comes to this stuff. All right, let's try that. Okay, that is a different one. So let's see what's up with that. Okay. Okay. No, it just refuses to go live. Oh, look at that. I think we got it going. Just had to do it like 5 times. Bear with me here and let's double check. We are actually working. Oh, let me go back to the other window. Sorry. Almost ready. Click to go join. Okay, it still says starting soon. I don't get that part at all. Ah, the joy of trying to stream to multiple places. Yeah, okay, this is like the live monitor, I guess. Manage attendees, cancel event, join, share. Sorry, guys. This is like the last thing you want to watch is me fumbling around here trying to get the stupid streaming to work. Send. Yeah, why is this not? Click join. And it totally says it's working over here. So. That part at all. Bear with me for a couple minutes while I'm seeing if I can figure this out. The joy of trying to stream to multiple places. Okay, I hear myself talking. Maybe it's working. Okay, it's working. Like the live monitor. Holy crap! It's working. It looks a little rough. Manage attendees, but I'm trying to upload to. Okay, so let us get. I'm going to keep this window open just to make sure the chat works. And I don't need that window anyway. So let's keep this. Let me test one thing. I'm also using a chat, test LI for LinkedIn. Let's see. Comments. I wonder if this is going to work on my chat app as well. All right, we're going to move this over here just so I have a secondary. Comments. I thought this would be live chat. All right, we're getting closer. At least I know we're actually streaming live on LinkedIn. Bear with me. All right. You know what? Let me. I'm going to test my chat real quick just to make sure I'm actually up and running on everything. That's all active, and then we can get going. Sorry, I should have had all this crap done and out of the way, but it's given me a little grief today. So bear with me. All right, let's go check out Kick. I'm trying to stream to multiple platforms and see if we can't get that to work. channel. Live, yes. Test. K-chat. Send. All right, we're almost there. I'm just testing all my chat apps. Okay, Kick is good. Let's go over to my Twitch friends. Get out of there. Almost ready. The joy of actually trying to get this to work. Profile. Let's go. Interesting. All right, I didn't need that. Let's go. Test. Chat. TW. All right, just test to make sure all my chat's working. Perfect. I love it. All right, we're almost there. LinkedIn. I don't even know if I've got any watchers anyway, so we'll come back. See, it is streaming though, but I don't know if chat's working on there. So let's go back to. I just want to confirm that TikTok is working too. Good God, can't even talk anymore. Let's try that. Okay. Inbox, Bello Bear live. Yay, look at that. Test TT chat. Make sure that comes through. Come on, please work. Okay, TT did not work. Son of a. Did I not? Oh, connection failed. Let's see. Connect to TikTok. Why is it not auto activates? Connect. Bop. Hello, friends. Bear with me. I'm trying to add some, make sure all my live streams are working and chat is working and all that fun stuff. So bear with me just a couple minutes here while I make sure. TT chat. Test. Send. My TikTok chat doesn't seem to be connected, which is very frustrating. Nope, it is not happy. Bello Bear official live. Huh. Oh, my chat looks like it's frozen. That's not good. All right, you know what? I might have to switch it. What? This is the number which can be found at the end of the pop-out chat URL. I have no idea. Come on. Oh, wait. Test chat. There it is. Cancel. I think we're good. Looks like let's try it one more time. TT chat. Test 2. Send. Please work. It works. Yes. The only thing I can't figure out is let's get out of there. Sorry, bear with me one sec. Okay, so we're good there. That's fantastic. A LinkedIn is the only one that's being a problem. Let me double check here on. I don't even know if I got any streamers. I'm trying to expand my streaming adventures, and so I'm trying to stream over there today. I got the stream going, but I don't know about my about the chat, and I want to make sure I don't miss anybody over there if they jump on. So, well, I got another window over here, so um, it seems to be working. If somebody pops in with some chat, hopefully I will see them in this other window. And if not, well, there's only so much I can do. So let's double, let me do one thing here just to double check. Live at noon today, reloading. I got to get some better internet, man. This thing is making my internet jog. Okay. All right, there it is. Doesn't show up in my, like I've got a multi-chat tool that I use. If any of you guys are streaming, then you might have seen this already, the Social Stream Ninja. It works pretty good, but I'm having a problem. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I have the wrong link in there. Let me slide this over here. You guys don't need to see some of this stuff anyway. Let's double check. Give me one more second here. We are so close. Let's try using that. Paste. Oh, that's the same one. And it still says starting soon. About Bello Live. Bear with me. Still says starting soon. What is that? Damn it. All right. I'm about to give up here on Twitch. Although no, it said it was up and running. I saw it, so we'll get out of there. It's time to make some comics. And too much fumbling around. We'll see if it works another time. All right, my friends, thank you for joining me. It is Monday the 22nd. Good gravy. This year is flying by, I tell you what. But it's going. So let's start making some comics. I'm tired of messing around with this stuff. Today we are going to do, what are we on? Board games, I think. Yeah, we're doing Bello Bear episode 29 board games. And just off the top, thanks for joining me. We're going to try to make this thing grow. If you're my friends over on TikTok or anywhere else, do me a favor and share. Make sure you share the stream so other folks can jump on here. I really want to build this up. Right now, it's just a few of you here and there, but you know what? I'm happy that you're here, and if you don't mind, help me get this a little bigger. So share it. See if we can't get some more folks to join us. So today we are doing Bello Bear episode 9, board games. And by the way, definitely do me a favor too, if you don't mind. Jump in the chat and just say hello, just so I can make sure it is working for everybody. I did a test, but I just want to make sure. So if you're on YouTube, Kick, Twitch, or TikTok, just do me a favor and say hello, and we'll make sure we are running good, okay? All right, so that out of the way, let's get to making some comics. So today is board games. I actually did this one a while back. Let's see. But we're gonna. So I did these like my original episodes. I got up to like 85 or so, and then I decided that I wanted to redo some of my really early ones because they were a little rough, to say the least. I mean, I'm still learning as we go at this point. But those were pretty damn rough, and I figured I can redo them. But more importantly, I wanted to start doing the video versions of them. So if you follow me on any of the socials besides the live streaming sites where I can't actually post the comics every day. Speaking of which, definitely go whatever your social of choice is. For regular posts, go there and just look me up. It's Bello Bear Official, and follow, and that way you get your daily comics. So comics are Monday through Saturday. make sure you go there and follow me, whichever social you like. Just look for Bello Bear Official, and that way you get to see these fun things. So today we are updating this episode, which I'd previously done, and now and why are you telling me this? Okay, go away. So I want to update the artwork. I've already updated the script, so let's go take a peek at the script. Um, So episode 29, board games, and we can actually compare. Let me slide this over a little bit, and I'm going to compare what I originally had. I thought I gave it a little bit of a tweak, but let's find out. As I started doing more and more of these, I got better and better, and it was easier and easier to write. I mean, I'm still honing my craft for sure, but it got much easier. So let's see. Panel one, Avery. Good morning, Bello. Where's Bubba today? Okay, that looks like it's the same. He called in sick. Poor guy has the flu. He sounds really terrible. Okay, most of this is going to be the same. That's cool. That's going to make our lives a little easier today. Hope he recovers quick. Oh yeah, okay. I did some few tweaks there, like hope he feels better. Instead, I did hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same around here without him. It's not the same around here without him. So what are we doing today? So what shall we do today? I tweaked the dialogue just a little bit. Before I started doing the video version, um, where now I know that Avery has a like a British accent. Um, I didn't know that before. Like, that was still kind of in development. And with the video version, of course, I have actual dialogue. So I got to make sure that his the dialogue matches the sound of his voice. So anyway, so yeah, so some of it's a little different. I'm just going to go ahead and create this from scratch. This is my old one too, my old layout. I had the little shop and support little thing in the bottom right corner. That's just the logo now, and so I want to update it with all the new stuff. There's little subtle changes and tweaks I've made over time. So let's just dive into it. So here's our script. And what we're going to do is I want to take this one, the old one. I keep it. Probably never going to look at it again after this, but it's like it takes up a tiny bit of disk space. So I just go ahead and stick it in the old folder. Then we're going to go ahead and copy or duplicate my last comic, which was 28, the chicken gum one. And I'm going to call this one 29, board games. Yeah, so basically at this point, I'm going to go through all of my stuff from the last one. This kind of just shows you, it's probably boring as hell to watch, but this kind of shows you file organization if you care about that, if you're a fellow artist and, doing this stuff. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and delete most of these. I am going to keep this one. I'm going to rename it the episode 29 board games. I'm going to add a 1 at the end for panel 1. And that's going to move down. I can select all these other files. We're going to chuck those. I'm going to update the name of my layout. And then also my video layout. There we go. And all the other stuff can go bye-bye. These are all from the last episode. So let's get rid of that. And okay, so and then we're going to go ahead and open up. So I do this in two parts. If you watched the last one, then you probably know already. But I do this kind of in two parts. I've got my layout, and it didn't open. That was weird. Let's try one more time. And oh, you know what? I'm gonna do a little bit of housekeeping here too. So this is my layout file, and I do this in InDesign. If you guys, any of you guys use Adobe, then you know InDesign. Basically, I split this into two pieces where I do one, my layout where I have the 4 different panels, and I do the dialogue in there. And then the other one that I use is Adobe Illustrator, and that's where I do my individual panels. And it just makes it easier to keep things organized and much easier to not get something screwed up. You know, when you have all this different artwork and all these different pieces and characters and backgrounds and everything, if you do it in the same file, it's pretty easy to screw something up. So I like doing it this way. So what we're gonna do now um, is let me go ahead and we'll come back and do the art in a minute. First, we're gonna get the dialogue set up. Oh yeah, so let me go back and I gotta do, and here you get a kind of sneak preview. This is for these panels down here are for the video version. Let's go board games, episode 29. Now this is going to be just me. I'm going to quickly scroll down here and I'm going to delete all the old ones from the last one, because we are going to update all of these. All right. Hey, we got a couple of folks on Kick. What's going on? Don't be shy about saying hi. Jump in that chat. All right, I'm going to update that. Well, we'll come back to later. And then I'm going to go, let's update this with the link to edit. I want to update. This is still linking to the old one. The art's going to look the same because I haven't changed the art, but I wanted to make sure I link it to the correct new file. And then what I do is we're going to move these over. And I'm just getting myself set up here so we can get through this. Oh yeah, darn it. I forgot I got to do that. I got to slightly shift up the panel in the bottom artwork. Long story, but bottom line, the top one doesn't exactly match the bottom one. So I have to move it up just a hair so it lines up correctly. All right, so we got that done. So now I want to go and I'm going to get the dialogue ready. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab these actually. My dialogue. I have preset. If you guys use Adobe at all, then you know there's always presets you can do, especially with text and stuff. So I have a paragraph style, which controls both the paragraph and the font. And I'm going to hit clear overrides. So as you'll see, once we start going through this, I tweak the text to make it fit inside that box as best as possible. So we're going to do that. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to change out. So I have two things. I've got the voice triangle, and then I've got the voice, the thought bubbles or voice bubbles. Avery gets the voice bubble since he doesn't have, a face or a mouth or lungs, and he can't actually talk. But, of course, the characters still know what he's talking about. So, but anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and get this set up. Where Bello is sitting, right now. Basically, Bello's going to go to the right where Bubba is, and then I'm going to bring in Avery here. It's those two guys are talking back and forth today. So I'm just kind of getting bits and pieces here put together. Get rid of that one, and we're going to drag this one over, duplicate it. And I don't know why that doesn't line up. That is kind of weird. Like these all should line up exactly. And I don't know why they're not. It's very, very odd. Let's do it this way. I'm going to go ahead and, instead of trying to figure out what the heck's going on, why it's slightly off, I'm going to grab the ones from the left and we're going to duplicate those. Make my life easier. That way I don't have to figure out what the heck happened. Next up, all right, so we got that. So next we're going to just start putting in the copy. And paste. So I get all the copy into the dialog boxes, and then I'm going to go ahead and tweak the dialog boxes as needed to make the copy fit in there nicely. Why is there an interesting? Okay, we're going to have to fix that. There was a quotation mark at the end of that sentence, which is weird. Panel 2, panel 3. Oh, wait, what is going on? No, I don't like this at all. I just realized something wonky. Oh, okay. Let's double check. For some reason, I have in my script, maybe I put the characters backwards in there by accident. Let's see. Bello, hope he recovers. Okay. Yeah, for some reason I had like panel one, I had Avery going first, and then Bello second, and then all of a sudden in the other panels that's reversed, which I'm like, what's going on? Why is that? Because it obviously dictates to where the characters are standing in the scene. Um, so I got to make sure that's set up correct. So, um, and for some reason I just had the characters, the names set backwards. So the dialogue is the way it's supposed to be. Anyway, quick fix. I'm just gonna go ahead and fix it here. Bello and then Avery. There we go. It just threw me off because I saw it and it was backwards. Um, anyway, where were we? Speaking of which, I think we're all good there. Connect four. Okay. I think we are good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on panel one, and I'm going to start tightening this up. So I always like to have my dialogue in 4 lines, whenever possible. We're getting some weird breaks here. I might have to tweak that, and we'll figure it out. And then let's do the other ones. So this one lines up pretty decent. The idea is I'm trying to get it, the text basically to line up with. So pretend this is the dialogue box. Where am I going? There we go. This is the dialogue box, and I want the text part of it lining up slightly inside of it. So as you can see here, he called in sick. Poor guy has the flu. He sounds terrible. Lines up pretty darn good. Um, and sometimes, like for the first one, where we're getting some weird line breaks, or it's a pretty short sentence, so I might tweak this a little bit. Um, Good morning, Bello. Where's Bubba today? So I'm thinking I might tweak this a little bit, add like a word or two just to fill out that space, because I always like to make it so it fits the panel well. The other part was we could take out the Bello part. We know it's Bello. I think we're still going to get some weird line breaks. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words. All right, we'll come back to that one. Let's keep going so you guys kind of see the whole thing, um, the way it's going to line up. And I mentioned this on the last stream too, but I like to the space in between the dialogue boxes here. Um, I like to have that if the two characters are directly talking to each other. I like to keep that pretty close because it feels more natural. Like, oh, okay, they are talking to each other. Just it's like a visual clue. Nothing crazy, but it's a little something that I think makes it work a little better. Um, and again, this is another one where we have weird breaks. This one will work a little better. Like the what may kick down to the next line. Um, let's see. I don't know if I will. Yep, there it goes. So then we'll take a little bit of spacing out the top and the bottom lines, just so they all get closer to all lining up, roughly at the same spot. Bello's line in panel 2 will probably tweak a little bit, just like we have Avery's line in panel 1. We might just change the actual wording a little bit to make that fit a little better. This one fits pretty good. That was quick and easy. Let's get these lined up. Oops, zoom out. And as you can see, so I have this space. I kind of want to have the same space down here. That looks pretty good. That's another one that's got some weird breaks, line breaks. This one lines up pretty good. Let's get this over a little bit. That looks pretty good. I'm going to kick it over just a notch or two. And wait, I didn't copy the text into panel 4. Oh, I got sidetracked because I was like, why are the words in the wrong place? Or why are the characters not with the correct lines in my script? All right, there we go. Connect 4. Wow. Okay, we might have to shorten this just a little bit. That is really long. I like to keep it to 4 lines. And I'm not going past that because it's a lot of text for a comic with 4 panels. But I might have to kick this one down. Connect 4. It's boring 3D tic-tac-toe. What's wrong with Mousetrap? You know, I don't mind the I usually hate hyphenating anything, but tic-tac-toe is kind of naturally hyphenated anyway. So I think we might leave that. Let's take a peek and see if we can't get if we do Bubba's line in um, 5 lines. And by 5 lines, I mean like counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. God, that is still a lot. All right, we're gonna have to shorten this up. Let's. All right, before we do that, let's go back to the top, and we're gonna tighten the rest of these so they all line up very well. How about? I wonder if that works. No, that's gonna kick it down too. All right, let me give myself a little extra space here. Good morning, Bello. Hey, where's Bubba today? Might extend it just by going, hey, where's Bubba today? Well, that's not too bad. I usually don't like leaving a single word, like in this case today, at the bottom in our 4th line, but to get it to line up decent without going crazy and tweaking everything and rewriting lines, I'm just going to go with that. I think that works pretty well. I do like the exclamation too, like, hey, where's Bubba? Like, what's going on? It gives them a little bit of inflection there. So I'm going to tighten that up. That looks pretty good. I'm going to close or make the dialog box smaller to fit better. And that feels pretty good. We read from the top left to bottom right, and or top to bottom. So that feels pretty good. I'd rather have the lines at the top be a little bit bigger than the having just the one word at the bottom. I think that still feels good. Same thing for this one. We are going to take out a little bit of spacing. I take out it's tracking, so the space between individual letters. I'm going to do the tracking first, tracking or kerning, depending on what you learned, and then I can also take out some of the width. I start with the tracking first, and then I take out some of the width, the horizontal width. Like the default setting is 90, and I go down to 90 or 85. I don't like going more than that because then the letters start looking weird, and it looks like I squeezed that line. In my graphic arts life, I grew up with learning typography and making stuff, not only look good, but also be very readable. So anyway, I am going to go ahead and center these 2 dialog boxes. And I think I forgot to tighten this one. So we're going to shift it over a little bit. But that looks really nice and clean. You see how let me get these centered real quick. But you see how he called in sick. Poor guy has the flu. The 3rd line, I wish it was a little bit wider, but it's not terrible. And the idea is to get those to line up as best as possible. Because like I said, you read from top left to bottom right. So as you go down, so if you read, he called in sick, then your eye is going to go, poor guy has the flu. He sounds really terrible. And that's how you read. And so the smoother you have those lines lining up, the easier it is for your eye to read. So that's why I'm spending so much time on it and kind of trying to make it as perfect as possible. This one's not too bad. This one has the 3rd line is a little wonky. So I'm do tracking. I do the command keys to make my life easier. But basically, I'm going to -20, and then from there I take out my horizontal size as well. But this one I don't need to. I think we're fine with 90. We're really not going to get that much closer to the 3rd line. And I think your eye is already pretty comfortable by the time you get to the 3rd line. If it doesn't line up perfectly, it's not a big deal. What are we going to do with this one? I think first thing is just easy one. So instead of the abbreviation with what's, we're going to go what is, and go what is your least favorite board game? See if we can. We're going to go ahead and take out some spacing. Then we're going to go to 85 in the width. And this one's still a little rough, but you know what? This one's not terrible because it's a short line too. The more the text you have for the line, the shorter you want it, so you can really make it easier to read. But since it's a short sentence, it's not as big of a deal. And mind you, I'm like overly picky. I probably spend way more than I should doing this kind of stuff. But that's my typography background from learning, graphic design, that I really focus on that stuff. And then we're gonna take out tracking as usual. This one I did condense a little bit widthwise. That feels really nice. That one's almost perfect, like really, really good. That's what I want ultimately. I would love that for every single one, to do that. What if we do, if he says, I sure do. Okay, look at that. Now we're getting closer. Our third line is a little bit squeezed, but I don't know if we need the exclamation point. I wonder if we should take that out. I sure do, but he's excited. So let's see. I guess we could do this way. Let's see. Let's do, wait a minute. What am I doing? This is, that's funny. I didn't actually copy I missed the third panel too. I thought I copied everything over. Now I was reading it and I realized that's the previous comic. So we have to change that one more time. What is your least favorite board game? Let me make sure we got all the right copy in the right, places. What? You want to play my least favorite board game? No. We can no, we can play anything. Just wondering. Mine is Mousetrap. Okay. So now we're making sense. All right, let me tweak this. I already did. Let me go back to. No, I can just expand the bottom ones here. 90. What? You want to play my least favorite board game? What? I'm going to go ahead and add a bellow in here just to spruce that up. And I also like, just to note, one thing I do like is, I do like mentioning my characters' names, at least in one of the dialogue boxes, because assume, if you haven't read my comics and you don't know who all the characters are, well, you're going to want to know who the heck is talking and who the characters are. Like if this is your first comic you're going to read today, I do want you to be able to quickly pick up on who the characters are, not like, oh, I got to go read all the other ones to know what the hell is going on, kind of thing. So I like having mentioning the character's name. Let me double check here, make sure. Do we say Avery anywhere? What is your least favorite board game? No, he called in sick. So what I'm getting at is I would really like to mention Avery in one of these dialogue boxes. So what if we could do this one. I know I already went here and tweaked everything, trying to get it to fit. What is your least favorite board game, Avery? We're going to have that one hanging one, but that's okay. I do like this a little better than what I had before. Let's go ahead and squeeze that. I guess we can probably squeeze this a little bit. I'm just going to go, usually I go -20 right off the bat, but I think we'll go with -10. I think that looks a little nicer. Again, I am overly picky. This is probably way more than anybody should spend on dialogue boxes, but I don't know. I like having everything as perfect as possible. It definitely caters to my typography sense from doing graphic arts. Okay, back to it. So this looks pretty good. I took out some space there. Oh, that's right. Okay, this one's good. I'm going to just squeeze the box a little bit widthwise. This one, let's tighten these up. Let's tighten that up with tracking first. And then we have the is go up, but we can move that. That looks pretty good. I think I'm going to take out a little bit of the horizontal space there. Nothing crazy. But everything lines up just a little tighter. All right, let's make sure we're centered. We're really close. I'm going to bring that off center. And it should naturally click to the center if I select both dialog boxes. Okay, so now we're down to the last panel. This is the one that's going to be interesting because we do have some rewriting. Did some minor tweaks above, but this line is just insanely long. So we definitely want to tweak that and make it fit a little better. And you know what? Let me double check. I wanted to see. There's live. Ah, there we go. Yeah, it still says this event will start soon. Something went wrong with my LinkedIn stream. If you're on LinkedIn right now, and you can actually see the stream, do me a favor and send me a chat. Just I want to see if that actually shows up. I'm going to go ahead and shrink this window down too. We'll move this over here so I can see the chat. All right, just in case. It was kind of last minute too that I sent out an invite to the LinkedIn stream, but who knows? All right, so connect for this. I think Avery's line is fine. I know if you're watching this, you're like, okay, why is it Bello Bear there? But don't worry, we're gonna tweak the art in a minute here. But Avery's line I think is actually good, fits well. I think we're good there. Connect for it's boring 3D tic-tac-toe. What's wrong with Mousetrap? All right, we need to tighten this up. So what I want to do is I use AI. So I use my buddy Claude, similar to ChatGPT. This one's more writing, like creative writing orientated. So I use that. But I'm going to ask him for a little bit of help. Instead of me fumbling with that line and playing with it till the cows come home to get it exactly the way I want, I'm going to go ahead and ask Claude to basically go ahead and tweak this for me. Can you shorten this one? And then we'll do tweaking and adjustments as needed depending on what he gives us. But and I tend to really ramble on. As you can tell, I love talking and chatting, and I tend to ramble. But Claude really helps me kind of bring that down and keep things under control. So. Here, what was our original? So on, no one actually plays it, so that's the same. Nobody. You set up the contraption, it breaks, then you chuck it in the cupboard. Cupboard? Oh, that's much better. That's like a good line or two out of there. So I think we're still going to have to go with 5 lines just because it's really long. Yeah, I'm going to change cupboard because this is actually a Bello line. And I think he would say closet. He wouldn't say cupboard. Avery, of course, is our British guy, our British houseplant. So he might say closet, or cupboard. So let's tighten this up a little bit. I think we're good. I think that works well. We do have 5 lines, which I'm not a huge fan of. But I'd rather have 5 lines than have to cut down a ton more. 86, let's go 85, just to tighten it up. All right, I think that's about as good as we're going to get on this one. There's a lot of copy. Let's shrink that down just a hair. And I'm gonna take my, grab both, there we go. I'm gonna take these guys and center them. Is it centered? Yeah, okay, that is. It just looks funky because one box is a little taller than the other. All right, so we got our dialogue. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to go and copy and paste all my dialogue back into the script. Most of this is, or some of this is probably the same, but we did make some little tweaks. Okay, that line was the same. So basically the reason I'm doing this is I want to make sure my script matches exactly to what is in the comic strip. Because we're going to use this, we're going to copy this to do dialogue later. And the worst thing would be to have the dialogue that's being spoken not match what you see on the screen in the art. So anyway, I do all the lines. I know not all of them change, but that way, if long story short, is I can't miss anything if I just replace them all. So it seems like a little bit of extra work, but I think it helps because then nothing gets missed. I'm 100% sure I got it all perfectly right. All Oh, you know what? While we're in here, we can also do this. We'll have our dialogue completely ready. Um, this is for our intro and outro. Um, and this is the text for posting on socials. You know, it tells you what the episode is. I do a little synopsis, and then also add a link to YouTube. I'm trying to kind of bring up my YouTube subscribers, so I always add the link, even though I post the video uh, to most places. I probably should do it the other way around because that makes me think people are not doing it. All right, let's go back to Claude. I'm going to have him write me a quick synopsis. I know we were working on art, but this is all stuff we're going to need to do for the video and for posting on social. So, how about the one where synopsis? God, why I can't type today? I mean, I can't type any day, but it seems like I'm worse at typing today. All right, he's going to write me a little synopsis about what's going on in the game, or in the comic strip, and he gives me a bunch of options. And usually, I end up maybe picking one and tweaking slightly, or sometimes it's really good and I just use it. The point being is I'm trying to speed up my process so I can focus more on the art and the writing of the actual comic strips than doing a lot of this busy work, which I have to do. The one where two becomes that doesn't make any sense. The one where absence makes the heart grow fonder. I'm assuming he's talking about Bubba, but we're focused on board games in this one. The one where two becomes a crowd. The one where quiet feels too quiet. Yeah, he's basically talking about Bubba. So the one where childhood toys get brutally honest reviews. That's moderately okay. Let's go ahead and copy that just in case. Hopefully it's something a little better. The one where nostalgia meets reality. The one where board games bored everybody. That one's not bad. I think you would, let's see. Let me go ahead and just paste it in there. Oh, right here first. The one where board games, let's change this, bore everyone. The one where board games bore everyone, or bore everybody. Let's just go with everyone. Like I said before, I tend to overthink this stuff and overanalyze till it's like exactly perfect the way I want it, and I don't need to do that. Got it. And we got one more we got to do. So then I also have where I want folks to engage and comment. Like this one is a really good one for comments and engaging. Where I want people to tell me what's your favorite board game that that you love to hate or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and ask Claude to write that for me. Got it. How about got it? How about a sentence for engaging comics or comics comments? I think I need some more caffeine. I'm really tired today. It is Monday. Mondays are kind of rough, if you know what I mean. All right, let's see what he's got. What's your least favorite board game and why? Which board game do you own but never actually play? I like that. Let's go with that because that really gets to the heart of what this comic is about and quick answers, Let's change this to comment with which board game do you own but never actually play? And I'm going to go ahead and paste this in here because this goes in our and then in our last panel, and this is for the video stuff. So let's go ahead and paste. Comment with which board game which board game you own but never actually play. Okay. And then we are going to adjust our copy in here. Spread that out. I think we're going to just go ahead and make the middle line smaller. Visually, that'll feel nice from a typography standpoint. Make sure it's centered. There we go. Comment with which board game you own, but never. Oh, let me add a. Should be a comma there. Feels like it should be a comma there. Own, but never actually play. All right. So we're good there. Anyway, now we've got our script 100% done. I still need to get some hashtags, but we'll do that later. And now we can get to the art. I know it's a lot of work and a lot of bits and pieces, but we're getting there. So I'm going to go back to my 4 panel up here, and we are going to start working on the arts. This one should go pretty quickly and be pretty easy. My comics tend to be not so like graphically crazy. When it comes to like a graphic novel, obviously you want lots of action, lots of movement, lots of excitement, and depending on I say a graphic novel usually has really good writing. If it's like a comic book, it's not always the craziest writing, the most exciting writing. So you tend to focus more on the visual, where in my case, my comic strip is more of a sitcom, if you will. So it's a little less crazy as far as art's concerned. So we should be able to blast through this pretty quick today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my panel 1 here, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to Edit Original. And this is going to go open up Adobe Illustrator. And this is where I set up my individual panels. So you can see I've got like my whole stage there, going all the way across. The front area with the TV. That's kind of the host desk, or whatever you want to call it. That's kind of like the front of the house to me. And then the back on the right side, that's where they actually make the sandwiches and food. And so that's kind of I call them the front and the back counters. So we are going to be working on we're going to be in the front counter. You know what? I'm thinking about it. I wonder if we should change it. I know it's not a huge deal, but I think the last couple comics, we did all in the front counter. So let me double check. So here is. Yep, the last one, and then episode 27, we did the front counter. Holy cow! Yeah, the last batch of them have all been front counter. First order, I think this one had both the front and back counter. I'm just looking to see. No, that was all front. Okay, we're gonna pull an audible here, and we're gonna move the guys to the back counter. I like to switch it up. Like I said, visually there's not that much going on with my comics because they are. It's a kind of a set, staged, not staged. It's a set where not that much changes. I mean, like I said, this is more of like a sitcom. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave Bubba there. I'm pretty sure he's back in the next episode. So I'm gonna go ahead and move my friend Bello over. Let's put him right about there, just a hair lower. Actually, you can go. There we go. That looks good. I'm gonna get rid of the phone. He was talking on the phone in the last one, which we don't need. We're gonna move the. Oh wait, I just realized something. All right, let's move. Let's get rid of that arm. I'm gonna go ahead and bring my pieces, my character pieces. So basically, if any of you guys are animators, you'll recognize this. Basically, all my characters are kind of in bits and pieces, and I can simply select what I need for whatever the episode calls for. And I do realize I need to go ahead and move Bello out here, and we're going to flip him because Avery's talking first in this episode. We can move him over a little bit. It's a little weird because usually let me get rid of this is Bubba's box that he usually stands on back there. I'm going to move this over. It's a little weird with the glass there. Do I want... I can see why I had this in the front of house. It looks a little better. Let's move this here. I'm going to move these back. I always have Avery sitting on these books. This makes them a little taller, so that way, if our characters are on the same eye level for the most part. All right, that's looking pretty decent. Let's move him over. And then if you didn't notice, Avery actually has a face right here. It's his middle leaf. And though, he doesn't have a mouth or eyebrows or anything, but I can move the leaf so it goes up and down a little bit, and kind of helps like where he's focused. Oh, excuse me. And also, we're kind of, depending on which way you're tilting your head, kind of can signify what your emotions are. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move him up a little bit there, or change his leaf a little bit. I am going to move Bello. I can see his feet are down there. That's pretty good. They're almost on the same eye level. So let's go ahead and just we'll save. So remember, this is panel 1. And then we're going to go back to the layout program in design. Let me get these set up a little bit. I like just being able to click back and forth between my 2 apps. There we go. I'm going to move this out just a little bit, so that way I can click between them really fast. And then we got to move, since we decided to move the conversation to the back panel, or to the back panel. Going to slide these over. So I don't know if you can see them on your screen, but I do have guides. So there's one in the center and then one left and right. And the idea is that whether you have 1 person talking, 2 people talking, or 3 people talking, I can center my characters pretty well in the frame. It just makes it a little easier. And so these guys are kind of centered based off of that. And you know what? I am going to slide up my characters a little bit. So like I mentioned, this is kind of Avery's face. So I like the thought bubbles to kind of line up with just above his face on the leaf. We're going to slide over Bello's dialogue triangle. Oh, I had both of them selected. I'm going to slide the dialogue triangle over for Bello. And there you go. Whoops, zoom out. And you know what? One thing I do want to do, you see the Bello's Deli logo on the wall. It's kind of messing with me a little bit. Like it makes it a little bit hard to read because your eye bounces around a little bit where the thought bubbles are. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to our file here, and this is in the background. So I'm going to unlock my background, and I'm going to go ahead and select the logo. And I use Shift just to keep it in the same place vertically, and I'm going to slide it left to right. Now let's go ahead and lock the background again and hit Save. Let's see how that looks in the layout program. We do have to, sometimes it updates by itself. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and update it. There we go. So you still see it in the background, so it still gives you some visual interest back there, but it's not like interfering with the dialogue bubbles and all that fun stuff. That does mean, though, that I need to duplicate all my background panels here since I moved everything around a little bit. Let's get this. Oh, I'm sorry. I hate when people yawn in my face. I'm going to make you yawn now. I'm really sorry about that. I need some more caffeine or some sugar or something. So I remember what I mentioned, that the bottom panels, they don't line up exactly the same way as the top ones. So I went ahead and slid that up a little bit. And I'm going to move this one here, duplicate it. There you go. Go ahead and hit save. I always like to make sure I save every once in a while. And there we go. We're basically ready to go. So what I'm going to do now, my characters are pretty much going to be staying where they are. I know Avery for sure. His leaf might move a little bit, and I might slide him around a little bit on his books there, but he's not going to move a ton. And then Bello, he's pretty much going to stay. I might slide him back a little bit. So anyway, point being is I'm going to use, so let's go back to Illustrator. And I'm going to use this. This is panel 1, and I'm going to use this as my starting point for panel 2. So I'm going to do a save as, and I'm going to call this panel 2 and save. And then what I'm going to do, since everything's already in exactly the same spot as panel 1, since I just did a save as, this makes my life easier for getting panel 2 set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tweak. I'm going to grab his leaf, Avery's face, and I'm going to move it forward a little bit. So you'll be able to notice that. I might, sometimes I move his pot, like his whole thing, him and his pot. I might rotate them a little bit this way. So that way it's just, he's a little bit in a different position. It's, it's like you and I were talking right now. You wouldn't stay stationary. Like I'm tilting my head as I'm talking. I'm gesturing with my arms. So you want to do the same kind of thing for these guys. It makes it so they don't look static, because the last thing you want is to have something be exactly the same, because visually it's boring, and it doesn't look natural. When you're talking, when you're having a conversation, you move your hands, you shrug your shoulders, you tilt your head. So you kind of want to repeat that everywhere. And he's got I got raised eyebrows. I didn't even think about that. Let's take a look. He called in sick. Poor guy has the flu and sounds really terrible. I just realized we never actually updated. So we're going to come back to panel 2 real quick. But let me open up panel 1, and we're going to tweak it a little bit. I totally forgot to think about their expressions and their mouths and everything. All right, hold on. Let me put on my where is it? I'm going to turn on my Be Right Back. No, that's not the one I wanted. Streaming. There it is. I'm going to go get some sugar, some caffeine, something, and I'll be right back, okay? Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm back. Try to keep you waiting. It's already 1 o'clock, so I just got a caffeine-free Coke for some sugar and a mouthful of pretzels. Let me finish chewing this before I put the microphone back on. All right. Now I really got to figure out. Oh, hang on. Oh, hide that. All right, now we're back. We are ready to go. All right, so where was I? Panel 1. Yeah, panel 1 I want to change. Bello's expression is way too happy right here. He called in sick. Poor guy has the flu. He sounds really terrible. And he's like got the super smile on his face. That doesn't make any sense. So we are going to change the expression on his face by, let's zoom in a little bit, changing his mouth. And we are going to, hang on one sec. Let's try that one more time. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and flip it horizontally, because all my mouths are, the ones I have pre-saved, are facing the other direction. That looks pretty good. Go ahead and hit save. I think I like the eyebrows in there too. Like, I don't know. It adds to the emotion of him being kind of like sad that Bubba's not feeling good. All right, so then we are moving on to panel 2. So let's go ahead and go back there. I want to close panel 1. So I don't need that. Let's slide this over and we'll go to panel 2. All right, so like I was saying, we don't ever want it static. We don't want our character static. They have to move around. They have to do stuff. Like as I'm talking now, you see my head bouncing back and forth. My hands are going up. I'm just shifting in my chair. So we want the kind of the same thing to happen, in the comic strip. So let's see what we can do. First thing I like to do is go double check what they're talking about. That usually kind of gives me some clues as to what what their expressions should be in comparison to the dialogue. Oh, a little bit of sugar helps. What is that? Let me double check something real quick. Post analysis. Let me double check something real quick. For impressions. Just going to my LinkedIn just to see if if the stream is working. I'm not seeing any chat, but bear with me one sec here. Let me double check. Oh, I hit the wrong one. Profile, please. Thank you. I wonder if it shows up. Bello Bear Live. I'm going to click on it. Tap to join. That's so weird. It still says starting soon. All right. Just wanted to double check. LinkedIn, I can't get to work on streaming. I think I might give up on that and just tell folks to join me over on any of the other ones. But, what are you going to do? Where were we? Okay, so we're doing expressions. So we're going to do panel 2. I forgot what they were talking about. I get too sidetracked with stuff. Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same around here without him. So what shall we do today? What is your least favorite board game, Avery? That's an interesting way to say it. All right, so it's inquisitive. Definitely not happy like that. Let's change his mouth. Let's go with a neutral mouth. Gonna move that there. Gonna flip horizontally. Like I said, all my mouths are set up with the character facing the other way, so that's why I'm flipping it there. I think we're gonna get rid of the eyebrows. They made more sense in panel 1. And I'm also gonna tweak the position of his head. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the eyes, the mouth, and back here at the base of the neck is his whole head. And I'm gonna tweak that looking down just slightly. Now let's go ahead and hit save. Go back to InDesign, our layout program, and I'm going to go ahead and update the link to be panel 2. There you go. So now you can see, let me zoom in here a little bit. If you look at panel 1 and 2, they're pretty different, It's like conversation, like you and I having a conversation. You can tell they've shifted, they've moved around a little bit. Avery's head, I'm going to move his thought bubble a little bit more to the right. I usually like to have it just kind of behind his, above and behind his, the edge of his leaf, his face. And that looks pretty good. Oh, let me move over Bello's voice triangle a little bit. I always like to have my characters centered, and same with the dialogue. This one I feel like I might want to move over just a little bit because it's so far off to the side of the triangle is so far off to the side, but it's not a huge issue. Again, I get like insanely picky about this stuff when I don't need to, but what are you going to do? Oh, my nose is itching. Still got my allergies. They've been really bad since last week. All right, so now what we're going to do, let me just go ahead and save. So we did save that, and I'm going to save as panel 3. Again, I always want to use the last one as my starting point because it makes my life easier moving forward. Um, so that looks good. What we're going to do is update. So I'm going to do this, select this panel, and we're going to swap out panel 3. And then the process is pretty much the same. So I'm going to slide this over a hair. Let's move, actually, let's go back in here and we're going to tweak Avery a little bit. I am going to rotate him back again. And I'm going to move him over just a little bit. My nose. Do you guys have crazy like allergy season right now? Because we're in southern Arizona. And right now it's like monsoon season for us, so we get just crazy, or we're getting a little bit of a weather like, hey, thank you for the heart. We're getting some monsoon season weather, so this is like springtime for us now. It's crazy. Mia or Maz, thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, so we're gonna be good there. Let's tweak Bello a little bit too. What's his line right here? Wait, what? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello? No, we can play anything. I'm just wondering. Mine is Mousetrap. Okay, so he's kind of it's kind of neutral. Um, so maybe I'm gonna move his arm back down a little bit, and I'm gonna tilt his head just a hair. Again, I never want my characters to be static. Let's go down. We'll go down a little bit. I think that will work nicely. And I'm also going to move him over just a little bit. Again, it's little subtle tweaks just so, it's not exactly the same. And we'll go ahead and save. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in, so we're going to update panel 3. Oh, see everything shifted just a little bit. And let's slide over the bubbles. And I'm going to do the same thing. Let's do that with the mouse instead of using the arrows like I did on the thought bubbles. Otherwise, we're going to be here for 6 days moving that little thing over. All right, that feels pretty good. Connect 4. Let's see. All right, panel 4. Let's see what we can do to change it up a little bit. I think I might go with, kind of like I'm doing, crossed arms. Because he's not like mad, but he's kind of like, screw connect or screw mousetrap. Once you put the thing together and then the game goes, you lose pieces and then it goes in the closet anyway, never to be seen again. So anyway, we're gonna do a save as. I like to do that to make sure I don't mess up and save over my previously done panel. Go ahead and delete his arm. We are going to give him the crossed arms. And again, I've got these all made and saved, so that way it's much easier for me to kind of create this on the fly than having to create all of this stuff every single time, new and every single time. It's a pain in the butt otherwise. And me trying to, I'm a one-man band. I still have a full-time gig doing graphics and marketing. I'm kind of shoehorning this Bello Bear in there because it's my passion project. It's what I've always wanted to do. So I'm already kind of on limited hours and trying to still do my graphics work. So anyway, you get the idea. I've really automate this process as much as I can. I don't know if we want to give Bello some eyebrows on this one. I think we kind of do. He isn't very happy with Mousetrap. Like he likes the contraption building part of it, and then he kind of hates the board game. So I think we're gonna add some eyebrows. Let's bring him down a little bit so he's kind of scrunching and he's a little mad. All right, let's see. Panel 4. Avery, I don't know if we need to even change Avery in this one. Let's see. We'll go ahead and update the link. Panel 4. Open. And let's move that over. Let me double check, make sure this is lining up right. There we go. Move that one over a little bit. I think that's good. I think the only thing that I don't like is because my dialogue box here ended up going to 5 lines. Um, it's kind of bugging me that it's so close to his head. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to use that opportunity to move him down just a hair, like he's leaning forward, like he's telling, you know what, I hate that stupid mousetrap game. He's leaning in like that. What's up, Art Mark? I'm using. Well, we're gonna get to the animation part in a minute. I'm literally just setting up the comic, classical style 4 panel comic, and setting up all the artwork. I don't use anything to animate. I actually use all Adobe. I use Adobe. This is InDesign for my layout for all my panels. Oh wait, no, this is Illustrator. So I do the individual panels here, and then and I bring these into InDesign for my layout. So let me go ahead and hit save. So that was Illustrator. This is now in InDesign, where I have all my panel works set up and my dialogue. It's much easier to control the text. At least I feel with InDesign. InDesign's really good at doing layout and doing text. So it's a good place to manipulate those two. So that's what I do. So basically, I'm going to go ahead and hide this so you can see. So each, so I've got the 4 panels and then the dialogue for all of those. And it just makes it easier to kind of keep stuff. Cool. And so I think we're good. Let me kind of just take a peek at this. Again, it's my comic strip is more like almost like a sitcom. So the characters aren't like running across the screen and doing crazy stuff. It's more about just general conversation. So you see me moving with my hands and tilting my head. I kind of want them to do the same thing. So even though there's not a whole lot of action, I do want them to move and not be stationary. And if you know animation, then nothing is ever the same. So you always want to have stuff moving. Just even if it's a hair, it tricks your eye into visually seeing that it's different. So let's go ahead and hit save. Next, I'm going to do, this is where perfect timing for getting into the animation part. What I have, so this is my 4 panel, and I'll paste it just like this. But then I also do the video version, and to do the video version, it's not really animated in the traditional sense where you got you're moving your character with 24 frames a second. Each like hand movement is like dink 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 going, and then you play it in fast and it makes it animated. But what I do is I take individual panels. Basically, each line of dialogue gets their own panel. So that's our intro page to tell us what episode it is. And then once I get these all done, we're going to put this all together with Adobe Premiere. I do graphic arts, and I've been using Adobe forever, and I pay for the damn software, so I might as well use it. But so all my work is done in Adobe. So we are going now. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set up all the panels for the video version. And how that works is I have basically each line of dialogue, unless it's super, super long, we'll get 1 panel. So what I'm going to do, and I shrink, so I'm going to paste in my panel. I'm going to shrink it down 90%. I do this to make it easier for me to frame because, we went from a nice square box. Now we're down to tall and vertical, basically phone format or video format, flip, vertically. So it's 1080 by 1920. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and paste these all in here, and then we'll go in and actually tweak them. So again, I reduce it 90%. That gives me a little more playroom to kind of get the characters to fit well inside the space. And then, we'll do some adjustments. So anyway, you'll bear with me while I get these all copied and pasted. Again, same thing. We're going to paste. We're going to go 90%. I'm going to delete the first line of dialogue as only that one, 1 panel per dialogue line. And so this one's Avery. I'm going to do the same thing, paste, line this up so it's centered on the panel, go 90%. And then I'm going to delete Avery's line in this one and just keep going. Same thing for the other ones. I know this is pretty tedious stuff and kind of monotonous and visually not the most exciting thing to watch. But this is how these things get put together. So I figured any of my other artist friends out there who, may not, you may be like me, you've used, maybe you're a graphic artist or, and you've used Adobe all your life and you want to learn how to turn this into not only a comic book, but a moving comic book. Wait, did I get both of those? I did. Okay. Fun to watch. All right. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I'm going to do these every day around this time. So definitely come back and we'll see you on the next one. And then look out for the comic. It's coming later this afternoon. I'm literally working on the one for today. All right. Thanks, bud. All right. Let's get panel 4. All right. There's that one. Oh, almost forgot. 90%. Go ahead and delete Bello's line. We're going to put his line here. 90%. All right. Okay, so we've got all of our art pasted. Now we're going to get to actually get these tweaked a little bit so they fit well in the panels. And you'll see what I mean where, we go from you can see it now, it's a nice square panel. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to move it over to the left for you, just so you can see. And then here's how this thing actually lines up. I'm going to, line up my art to the actual page. And again, this is 1080 by 1920. So video, your standard video format, flipped vertically. And it doesn't give you a whole lot of room. And what we do is we're going to move over the dialog box. I've got some like guidelines here. I don't know if you can see them on the screen, but I line it up with that. We are going to slide Avery over a little bit. So whoever's talking, I kind of want them, I want them to be closer to the middle of the screen. So you kind of focus on them. Bello's obviously not talking in this one, so we're going to slide him over. Let me get the thought bubbles lined up for Avery. And then we do the same thing again with Bello. So we'll slide him over. We're going to end up cutting Avery off a little bit there on the side, but that's okay. I think I might want to move this, make this even a little more drastic. Let's slide that over. Nose itches. Stupid allergies. They suck. I really hate allergies. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let me go ahead and do that again for the rest of these panels, and then we'll come back and we're going to do some final tweaks here to make this really work. Oh, let me double check. So one thing I like to do too, so you can see like what we have to work with and why I shrink it down a little bit to give me a little bit of wiggle room with the super tight format that we have there. You can see how much space we have because it's a nice square box, but now we're going to this tall vertical thing. And the cropping on it is really harsh. Anyway, I always like to, once I kind of get the layout set where I want, as far as, how we slide the camera over, I like to pick something. In this case, I'm going to use the ketchup bottle right here. That's going to line up on my guide mark I have on the screen right here, which I'm not sure if you can see it. It's probably pretty light, but so all of my other panels that have Avery, they're all going to line up the same way on the edge of that ketchup bottle. So that visually, it makes it easier for you to watch. If you bounce around all over the place, it's kind of similar to the dialogue thing where the better, the more concise and the tighter you have that laid out, the easier it's going to be to read. And this kind of follows along those same lines. Yep, so we're good right there. And let's go do Bello. Oh, shoot, I forgot to look to see where he lines up. Let's go up to Bello's line. All right, you know what I'm going to use? I'm going to use the stand of Avery's seat to line it up. It's kind of like my guideline is right in the middle. So I'm going to use that as my guide for how I want to move Avery. Or when it's Bello's line, where Avery should be, because he gets cut off a little bit because we're trying to focus on Bello. There we go. So let's slide that over a little bit. I'm going to move his voice triangle down or over. And again, same thing. I know this gets monotonous as hell, but let's go ahead and move over a little bit. But it's a little monotonous and it's a lot of work, but it's how you make it look good. And oh gosh, I almost forgot. Okay, this one. Remember, I was mentioning earlier where my bottom two panels of the 4-panel, the way it sits in there, they're slightly off this way. So I actually have to. I'm going to grab everything, and then I don't know if you can see it, but there's a guideline there. So I want my dialog box to line up perfectly with that. Dink. There we go. So it's minor tweak. I've tried to figure out a good way so I don't have to do this, but there really isn't one, unfortunately. So it's not a big deal. It's pretty easy to fix. Okay, so next up we've got Bello. So let's move him down. I'm going to do that right off the bat so I don't forget. That looks good. And then I'm also going to move everything over so that Avery's stool lines up with my guide. And let's close. Let's go ahead and make this fit to the page. I'm going to slide over the dialogue a little bit. There you go. All right, next one, same thing again. I'm going to move this one over based on, remember I'm using that ketchup bottle as my point, my reference point. Let's slide this down. I think this is panel 4, so we're almost there. Or no, is this panel 3? No, this is panel 4. I'm going to slide this over. Going to line that up with my page and do the same thing down here. All right, one more time for our buddy Bello. This one is slides. Oh, let me do the up and down verse first. I slide that down a hair. Dink. There we go. And I want to go and line up. Remember the stool, Avery's stool. It's the leg part of it lines up perfectly on my guideline right there. There you have it. So now I'm going to go and move that. I gotta adjust my image to fit to the page, and this slides over, and we are good. So we are almost ready to get into the video part. You may notice one thing though, and that is, and we'll go back to the very first one. There it is. You may notice in this panel, Avery's talking, but Bello is not. So we have to make some extra frames for the video version. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the background. I'm going to hit Edit Original. This is going to open it up for us in Illustrator. I am going to delete Bello's mouth, and I'm also going to take out his eyebrows being up. And in this case, I usually like to use the neutral mouth, the neutral closed mouth. For these. And so what I do is paste, rotate this slightly, put it where it should be, and zoom out. And then I'm going to do a save as. I forgot to do a save as. I always like to do the save as soon as I open the file just to make sure I don't save over something by accident. But I'm going to call this, so this is panel 1, and I'm going to call this V1 for video 1. And one nice thing is, since so we're good there. I'm going to go ahead and close out of there, and we'll update it here, and you'll see what I mean, how it should be with his mouth closed because he's not talking. I'm going to go ahead and grab V1. Dink. There you go. So now he's listening and he's not talking. Works much better. The nice thing is usually I have to do a V1 and a V2 between the two different characters. So if it's like Bello and Bubba, for instance, I have to do a V1 and V2 for both of them while they're listening instead of talking. But the nice thing about Avery, he doesn't have a mouth, so we get to save ourselves a little bit of time. So we save ourselves a little bit of time, which is nice. So let me go to this one. So we'll do the right click, edit original. And this time I'm going to remember, save as soon as you open it up, because it's with as monotonous and tedious as this is, It's very easy to mess something up and forget to do the save as, and then you save over the original file, and then you have to go back and fix that. And it's a pain in the ass. So we're not doing that. So we're going to hit save as. So now this is panel 2, video. It should be video 1, but that doesn't matter. It's not going to affect us. So we're going to go ahead and delete the mouth. We'll copy the neutral mouth, paste. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Get that right about there. Oh, come on. There we go. Now it's rotating. I'm also going to move his arm a little bit. I'm not sure if I should go up a little bit more or down, but, just like if we're talking, I'm not frozen all of a sudden while we're talking. I'm going to keep moving. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and hit save. Oh, you know what? I am going to go ahead and change that. It should be, it's not a big deal. It doesn't affect anything, but this should be called V1. And I'm a weirdo like that. Like I have to have it right or it's going to drive me nuts. Let's go ahead and fix this and, or update the link for this in InDesign. So it's going to be the panel 2 V1. There we go. And let me zoom out just a little bit. I want to see what it's like. Okay, he has his arm completely down in the first panel. Okay, I went backwards. I should have had where he kind of raises his arm up as he's getting ready to talk. So let's go change this. So we are going to rotate this. A little too much. I want him like starting to lift up his arm. Again, this is not like full animation, but your brain should be tricked enough where you're like, you kind of, you fill in the blank of it actually moving a little bit. So let's go to, so there it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to change or hit refresh. There we go. That's better. So you can kind of see his arm is starting to come up a little bit. Then we get to the next one and his arm is up. And he's talking. So we're good there. Nothing to do there. My nose is itching, driving me nuts. Sorry. I have really bad allergies. I swear to God, I won't pick it though. We're all good. So we're going to do the same thing again. Edit original, save as, so panel 3, video 1. Yeah, we've got, being in kind of south, I guess it's southeast Arizona, but we're at higher elevation. Anyway, we just being in Arizona, we get monsoons this time of year, which means it's pretty much springtime. All the flowers get very happy, and which means I get very unhappy because my allergies are terrible. And yeah, they really suck. So my nose is going crazy. It's itching. And then I've got asthma on top of it. It's a whole ordeal. Let's rotate his arm just a little bit. I'm going to have it going down just a hair. And we're good there. So I'm going to hit save. We'll go ahead and update. We got to change the link to, the image that's in there to the V1. There we go. And we're good on his panel. No, we can play anything. Just wondering okay. Okay, and then here's the next one. Edit original. And we're going to close his mouth and take away the eyebrows. So essentially, we're just putting in the neutral mouth. Going to keep the crossed arms. I think it's a setup for him for his next panel. Oh, and I totally forgot. Save as. Damn it. I'm telling you, sooner or later, I'm going to forget one of these, and I'm upset because now I got to go back and fix my fix panel 4. Go ahead and hit save. Go ahead and hide that because I think takes care of all of what we got to do there. So I'm going to relink it with the new V1 version. There you go. And then Bello gets the last line. We are good. All right. Woohoo. So we got our 4-panel done. We've got all the art, short of us having to tweak something, which is possible, but we've got everything ready to go to make our video, or almost ready to go make our video. We have everything art-wise to make our video. I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and I'm going to export our our pages as PNGs. So I've already got this preset to what it should be. And then just go ahead and hit export. If you know InDesign, then you know this process. You can export as pictures, you can export as PDFs and all kinds of stuff. So we're good there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my buddy Claude, my writing partner here, to proofread this thing for me. Because you know what? The worst thing you can do is have a big ass typo and then post it on all the socials, and then you're screwed. You'll either have to delete them and repost them and whatever else, and it's a nightmare. And I've had a typo here and there, and not even like major stuff, but something I just didn't catch, and it's really frustrating, especially as much of a perfectionist as I am. Anyway, let's ask Claude. Here's the final art. Any typos or issues? And he's really good because he looks at the concept too, and kind of how everything flows. Obviously, he'll look for like typos, anything misspelled, but he'll look at the whole thing too, and he does a pretty decent job. I mean, I know it's AI, so I kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, but it looks like it's good. So let's take a quick. We'll do a glance through of what he said. Dialogue flows naturally. Character voices are spot on. Shows genuine concern for Bubba. The flow works well, establishes Bubba's absence and why, shows they miss him. Transition to board games is natural. Builds Avery's perfect time mousetrap rant. Avery? I think he means Bello. I think sometimes the AI gets confused about who says what. Like it doesn't quite get it. So line bits better, contraption. All right, everything looks good. Fantastic. It's a good way to get another pair of eyes on it and make sure I didn't get any typos or screw something up. Because that's like the ultimate worst thing possible, to have a typo. Like I've had it on a couple episodes, but you post it to all the socials and everything, and then you find a typo and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe that's there. And if it's not something major, you just let it go because it takes so much time to do this stuff. But anyway, let's dive into what's next, which is dialogue. This is one of my favorite things. I use, and of course it's AI too, because I can't afford to pay voice actors at this point. I'm a graphic artist, and we don't make all that much money. So I even thought about doing the voiceovers myself, but there's just not enough hours in the day. And then to me to actually do the voices and do them well, to do all of them, it's too much. There's just no way for me to be able to do it. So it was either for me to find the money to pay voice actors, or I'm just going to have to make do with AI. At some point, if this becomes a big enough hit and I'm actually making money off of this, which I make zero, this is all a passion project at this point. But if there's enough money there, I'd love to hire some real voice actors, because it just takes it to a whole new level. But for now, we're going to use AI, and you know what? Honestly, this AI does a pretty decent job. It's called Hume, Hume. I tried a few different ones, and I had the best experience with this one and getting the characters to sound as natural as possible. So, anyway, let's dive into it. We are going to start with our intro and outro, which are said by Bello himself. So let's go ahead and I'm going to copy and paste. Remember, I was saying that's why I updated when I updated the dialogue in InDesign. I wanted to make sure it matches. That's why I copied and pasted it back into my script form. And now I can copy and paste it into my AI voiceover artist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste that in there. Then under advanced, you can have it generate, you can either type in or you can auto generate acting instructions. I'm going to go ahead and hit auto. Most of the time it gets it right. Sometimes you have to manually do it, but it helps it to be more lifelike, more natural, more real. So let me turn up my Let's see. You guys should hear. I think I have my desktop audio turned on. So anyway, so then you paste in, you hit auto generate for the acting instructions, and then I hit generate.
Hello, I'm Bello. This is episode 29, Board Games.
All right, let me turn down the audio for the voice just a hair. I can see us peaking. That sounded pretty good. I'm going to play it one more time.
Hello, I'm Bello. This is episode 29, Board Games.
All right, that's pretty smooth. I can go with that. Let me go ahead and then let's see, downloads. And then I have a specific way of naming these things. It's probably the last thing in the world you give a bleep about, but to keep things organized, and you're going to see how many files we have because of all the bits and pieces. You know, we had to make each panel for, I mean, we got the 4-panel version, but then there's like 2 panels for each panel that we had in the 4-panel version, yada, yada, yada. So I named this 0.1 intro. And the reason for the 0.1 is that it is anything that's not in a panel, I want to be separate. So I know I can easily identify it for what it is. So this is 0.1 intro. And then we are going to do the next one, which will be the outro. And then we're going to go ahead and copy, paste. I'm going to hit auto generate again. Anytime I bring in a new line of dialogue, I hit the auto generate. If you don't, I think it still tries to use the instructions from the last line you had in there, and it doesn't do a great job of sounding natural. So I always do the auto generate. I've got plenty of credits. You know, I pay this, it's like 15, 20 bucks, or not even 20. I think it's like 14 or 15 bucks a month. And it gives me plenty of credits for what I need. Anyway, so I hit the auto generate acting, and I'm going to hit generate.
Comment with which board game do you own but never actually play?
Comment with which board game you own but never actually play. That sounds very awkward. Comment with which board game. Comment, I think the with, it just doesn't need to be there. That makes it sound weird. Comment which board game. Yeah, that sounds more natural. I'm going to generate again since I took the word out.
Comment which board game do you own but never actually play?
That's pretty good. That means, though, since we did change dialogue, I'm going to go ahead and go back to, it's at the bottom here. We need to take out with here, too, because remember, I want stuff, it has to match on the screen with what the dialogue says. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I got to do a little bit of spacing work here. This is going to be -20 and 85. And that last line being on its own is fine. And let's go ahead and close the box a little bit. I want to make sure it's centered. Okay, now we're good. And so we're going to export. And basically, we're going to export all of our, turn off my fan here. Replace. We're going to export all those images again. That's another reason why I like doing it this way. It does make it easier. So if I have to go back, once we start on the video part, if I have to go back and make any tweaks to the panels, it's really easy to export from InDesign all the images, all the panels as images, and then it will automatically update in Adobe Premiere where we're going to make the video version. All right, so we're good there. Let's go ahead and hit save and hide. Let's go back to making some dialogue. Let me play this one more time. I think we might tweak this just a hair.
Comment which board game do you own but never actually play?
All right, I do want him to kind of take a breath. He's not stopping. He's just going, through the whole line. I want him to kind of take a breath in between. So the natural spot is after or right before but never actually play. The voice should be curious and slightly humorous. You know what? We'll keep that for now.
Comment which board game do you own but never actually play?
Ooh, okay. See, much better. Adding that little pause in there, he enunciated much better. So we're going to go with that. Rename. And again, this is going to be a 0, but this one's going to be 0.2 since it's the outro, not the intro. and go ahead. Okay. So let's get moving. So we're gonna go with, since I've already got Bello selected, I'm gonna do all of his lines. I do all of the lines in a, like all of his lines in a row. If you're just starting out with this kind of thing and it's, you don't really have an ear for what you're listening for, I definitely recommend going with in order. So in that case, you would do Avery panel one first, since he's the first one to talk. You get the dialogue the way you want it to sound. You'd save it, then you go do Bello, so you can kind of bounce it and listen to what the other one sounds like. I've been doing this kind of stuff for a while, so I'm just going to go through all of Bello's lines, and then I'll come back and do all of Avery's lines because it helps me speed up my workflow a little bit. And as you can tell, this stuff takes a while to do. Um, I started at noon. Well, I was fluffing around with trying to get my LinkedIn stream to work, which I don't think it did. Um, so we probably started 20 minutes late, but it's been a solid, hour and 40 minutes or so. Maybe not quite, but you can tell. The bottom line was I'm just trying to mention that, that this does take a while to do. Anyway, so we pasted our text we want him to say. I've updated or I've done a new auto generate on the acting instructions, and I'm going to hit generate.
He called in sick. Poor guy has the flu. He sounds really terrible.
Ooh, all right. You know what? Sometimes the AI knocks it out of the park, and we're good to go. I like the way he said the line. I don't really have any issues with it. So I'm just going to go ahead and go with it. So this is going to be panel one. So one, and then it's going to be dialogue two, though, because he's the second person to talk. So I'm going to call this 1.2 and then Bello, just so I know which character. So next up, we are going to go to Bello's line in panel two. Paste, auto generate. And just in case you're wondering if you can't see it, it basically auto-generated. The acting instructions are annoyed, sarcastic, and slightly bored. I don't know if that's kind of the right acting instructions there, but let's go with it and just see what it comes up with.
What is your least favorite board game, Avery?
Yeah, all right, I'm going to go ahead and save it. I'm not 100% sold that's what I want. I'm going to go ahead and hit auto-generate. All right, this is probably more along the lines, like he was like a little too, I don't know, harsh, a little too angry about it. This time, the acting instructions, they came up with the voices casually curious and inquisitive, which seems more along the lines. And I'm going to hit generate.
What is your least favorite board game, Avery?
That's pretty good. I like the way he kind of and gets his a little bit of an inflectuation on Avery at the end there. What is your least favorite board game, Avery? You know what? Just for sake of argument, let's add a comma after board game and see what it does with that.
What is your least favorite board game, Avery?
Huh. He changed the inflection a little bit on line two at the end of the line there. Let's see. Let me pull up. Which one was this?
What is your least favorite board game, Avery?
Okay.
What is your least favorite board game, Avery?
And then
What is your least favorite board game, Avery?
I like the way he has Avery at the end. It's more natural. The other ones, he's just kind of going through the line, and there's not too much inflection in there. It just feels a little flat. So I like that one. Oh, I got to download it. I like that one just because it feels the most natural to me. Let me make sure this is the correct one.
What is your least favorite board game, Avery?
See how it kind of goes up at the end, like he's asking a question. So that one just sounds the most natural, and you'll definitely be able to notice that. So this is going to be panel 2, line 2, so 2.2 Bello. All right, I'm going to check the other ones. We don't need those. And panel 3, let's get Bello's line. No, we can play anything, just wondering. Okay, let's see what the auto-generate acting comes up with. The voice has a curious and conversational tone. That sounds like it should be about right. Remember, the line for this one is, no, we can play anything. Just wondering, mine is Mousetrap.
No, we can play anything. Just wondering. Mine is Mousetrap.
That feels pretty good. I really like the way he on the no, like he was very specific. Had some very specific inflection on the no,
No, we can play anything. Just wondering. Mine is Mousetrap.
and just I hear it in my head. So I got a feeling. I got a feeling that's going to be really good and bounce really well off of what Avery says. So let's go ahead and save that again. So it's going to be panel 3, dialogue 2, and Bello. And then we go to number 4. I find this doing the voice stuff is really fascinating because I can start hearing it come alive, even though I'm not watching the video, but I can hear the audio, um, and so it really starts feeling alive. Let's go ahead and auto generate acting as usual. All right, and then this one is disappointed, frustrated, and a little angry, which that sounds about right, right? For because Bello's line is, no one actually plays it. You set up the contraption, it breaks, then you chuck it in the closet. So, and the way I'm saying it is kind of what I'm expecting to hear from Bello saying it. Um, at least that's what I'd want, like a voice actor to kind of start there and give me something based off of that. So let's see what he does.
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption, it breaks, then you chuck it in a closet.
He's so angry. It's fantastic. He might be a little too angry. I'm going to play it again and we'll save it just to be safe. But I think he might be a little too angry, but it's pretty funny.
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption, it breaks, then you chuck it in a closet.
He's so mad about it. That's fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and save that one. I think that one might be a little too mad, but it's fun. It's fun. I'm going to auto generate the acting. Usually I try a couple more of just hitting the generate button to do a new voice. But in this case, I think he's probably going to come up with more that are just as angry. And I don't want him to be quite as angry. Yeah, this is more like it probably. The voice has a tone that is disappointed and sarcastic. That's what the voice acting instructions they came up with. And I think that's probably about right. So let's hit generate and see what we get.
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption, it breaks, then you chuck it in a closet.
Okay, it doesn't feel quite right, but I do like how the timing and the inflection of then you chuck it in the closet. That was pretty cool. Let's play that one more time.
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption, it breaks, then you chuck it in a closet.
You know what? I think part of the problem I'm having too is the timing of it a little bit. No one actually plays it, and then I want him to actually kind of like take a breath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple more dots. We'll do like 3 dots in between. You can get this thing to kind of take pauses and do stuff a little different by adding triple dots or a comma in certain spots. I'm going to go ahead and do the triple dots since I think we already had a comma there anyway. So let me hit generate.
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption, it breaks, then you chuck it in a closet.
We're getting closer. I like how he's definitely not happy about it. I'm going to go ahead and save that one. I think that's a good standby. If we can get a little bit more inflectuation out of it, then I think we might use another one. What I'm going to do too is I'm going to go ahead and hit, instead of a comma, I'm going to do triple dots after it breaks. You know what? And while we're at it, I'm going to go ahead and hit a exclamation point there too. Sorry, I keep rubbing my nose. It's just itching like crazy. It's like literally somebody's like shoving flowers in there or something. All right, so I updated that. Let's go ahead and hit generate, and then if we need to, we'll play around with the acting and some more.
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption, it breaks, then you chuck it in a closet.
All right, it's not bad. Let me go ahead and hit. I'm going to go ahead and chuck the other ones because I think that one's kind of the best out of those, out of that bunch. Let me go ahead and do the voice acting, change the voice acting again. The voice has a disappointed and frustrated tone. All right, so he might be a little more angry than the last one. Let's go ahead and hit generate and see what we get.
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption, it breaks, then you chuck it in the closet.
All right, I like the way he enunciated it breaks. That's pretty good. I wish the and then you chuck it in the closet would had a little bit more oomph to it. If we absolutely have to, well, not if we absolutely have to, but if we're not getting what we want, sometimes what I'll do is I will actually split this into two separate pieces, so I can get the right inflection. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and the one thing you can try to is I'm gonna capitalize closet. Um, Sometimes AI gets it and goes, "Oh, you want me to, and get a more inflectuation into that particular word." So let's see what we get.
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption. It breaks.
Uh, okay, it decided it didn't want to talk anymore. And AI will do some weird stuff sometimes.
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption. It breaks. Then you chuck it in a closet.
Okay, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad at all. Okay, I wish. All right, you know what? I think we're gonna have to do this in maybe probably two, maybe even three pieces. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna start with no one actually plays it. I'm gonna give it some voice acting there. Apathetic, dejected, and disappointed. Sounds about right.
No one actually plays it.
Okay, that's way too down. Let's try generating that again.
No one actually plays it.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and save that. Then I'm gonna go ahead and paste the second part. I'm gonna hit the auto generate. Basically, because I can't get, if you paste like a line or two in there and you want different emotions and different parts of it, a lot of times you have to break it up. Like the AI just doesn't get that there's multiple emotions in one or couple of lines. So let's see what we get. Frustrated, annoyed, and done with the situation. That's great acting instruction. Let's hit generate.
You set up the contraption. It breaks. Then you chuck it in a closet.
All right. Not bad. Let me go back and hear our first one.
No one actually plays it.
Okay, it didn't want to play. Let's try it one more time. I'm trying to play it back to back so I can kind of really hear it. And
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption. It breaks. Then you chuck it in a closet.
all right, he's a little too angry. Like I want to like a ramp up. Like the first one, no one actually plays it. You set up the contraption, it breaks, and then you chuck it in the closet. Like I want there to be levels of emotion there. So I got to kind of trick the thing. Let's just generate it. I got a feeling we're gonna have to do this in three pieces, which that's a whole nother ball game because you don't always get what you actually want.
You set up the contraption. It breaks. Then you chuck it in a closet.
All right, that's not bad. He came down a little bit at the very end. Um, let's go ahead and save that, and then I want to play.
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption. It breaks. Then you chuck it in a closet.
Okay.
No one actually plays it. You set up the
Oh,
contraption. It breaks. Then you chuck it in a closet.
okay. So just for comparison, that's actually a great way to see what we're trying to get to. So that was the first one, which had the whole thing, said the whole thing in one go. And you can kind of tell it's a little flat. So I think what I'm going to do, and I can chop this up as I need to. So let me go ahead and do one thing here
No
though.
one actually plays it.
All right, so this is gonna be. Let me go ahead and name this so I know what's what because these, they all have like Hume dash and then some long ass things, so you don't know what the hell's what. Let me go ahead and hit name this right now. This is gonna be 4.2. So panel 4, dialogue 2, and then Bello. We'll go ahead and save that so we have that. What I can do, and what I'm probably gonna do, is take this as the middle part of this. So um, you set up the contraption, it breaks. I'm going to take that part, use that as part 2, and then I'm going to read and I'm going to do part 3 separately. So
You set up the contraption. It breaks. Then you chuck it in a closet.
I can cut it off right after it breaks. So we're really just doing. Let me try one more time. Let me take out the exclamation point here. and we're going to see what we get.
You set up the contraption, it breaks.
Ooh, okay, we got something there. Like I like the way he went up in contraption. Here, let me play it one more time.
You set up the contraption, it breaks.
Yeah, very sarcastic tone to the way he says contraption. So let's go ahead and save that. I think that's probably going to be our part two. Um, Let me make sure that's the right one.
You set up the contraption, it breaks.
Nice. Yeah, okay, now we're getting closer to kind of what I was hearing in my head. So I'm going to call this 4.2.1 because it's the next part, bellow, and then we need the last line. So um, that's actually working much better. I kind of had the thing where I was going like down, up, and then down again, but I think this works better because now we're going from here up a little bit, and then hopefully we're going to do a nice payoff at the end, if that makes sense. Let me go ahead and auto generate, and then we'll just hit generate.
Then you chuck it in a squazzit.
I don't know, man. Sometimes the AI just it can't say words. Like I don't even, how the hell did it pronounce closet? Something weird. But let's try that again.
Then you chuck it in a closet.
All right, nice. Let's go ahead and download that one. It's got enough punch where he's not like screaming mad, but you can definitely tell he's not a happy camper about it. Which was this?
You set up the contraption.
Okay, that's old. So here I'm gonna play these for you so you can hear the whole thing. So 3 lines together, and mind you, I'm gonna try to hit the button fast enough to play them continuously, but that way you get a better feel of what I'm trying to achieve.
Plays it.
Oh, that was,
One actually plays it.
huh?
No
Oh.
one actually plays it.
Okay, my computer's acting weird.
You set up the contraption, it breaks.
And then,
Then you chuck it in a closet.
all right, that's perfect. I like the way it escalates. So let's go with that. So it's gonna be 4.2.2 bellow. All right, now we got to get Avery's lines. So I'm going to go ahead and copy, and then we are going to change to my voices and go to Avery, paste, auto-generate the acting as usual. And in case you're wondering, if you can't read it, the voice is casual, friendly, and slightly curious. Very well.
Good morning, Bello. Hey, where's Bubba today?
All right, that sounds pretty good. I like the way he's kind of like just casual. Good morning, Bello. And then, hey, where's Bello? Like he gets a little bit, his voice goes up a little higher, a little inflection there. That sounds pretty good to me. I don't know if we need to mess around with that any more than anymore. So let's go ahead, and that's 1.1. So panel 1, dialogue 1, Avery. Let's go to Avery 2, copy, paste, auto generate, and generate.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him. So what shall we do today?
Okay, he's a little monotone there, which he tends to be. He's Avery. It's not bad. It sounded like he was kind of fumbling over his words there in the beginning a little bit.
Kopi recovers quickly. It's not the same.
Yeah, it almost sounds like cope. Copey recovers quickly. So let's go ahead and generate.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him. So what shall we do today?
I think I'm gonna have to do it again. Like this is another one of those where you got to do it in 2 pieces. Let's auto generate. I copied that last piece of the line and just deleted it. I'm gonna generate.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him.
Okay, that's just too sad. He's not dying. He's just got a freaking flu or a cold. The voice is warm, sympathetic, and a little sad. That might be a little closer.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him.
Yeah, I don't know. He sounds like somebody's dying or something. The voice conveys concern, worry, and hopelessness. No, that's not what I want. The voice conveys concern, but is not worried. Let's try that. I don't know if it'll work, but sometimes, and putting in your own acting instructions, it doesn't always work. Sometimes it just says some really weird shit. Oh, good God. Hey, everybody, if you don't mind, say hi in the chat. I want to make sure it's working correctly over here. So let's go ahead and hit generate.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him.
Okay, that's a little better. Sketty, what's going on? Looks like that's working. All right. Just working on Bello Bear comics. I got to put together, we got all the artwork done. Right now, we're working on the dialogue to make the video version. So it came in at a good time. We're almost ready to to jump in on the video. That sounded pretty good. Kind of, just low, a little bit of concern, but not like too down like he was in the other one. Let's play it one more time.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him.
That's not bad. Let me try generating one more just to see.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him.
Okay, I think that one might be a little better. Let me play the old one more time.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him.
Yeah, it's very similar, but it feels a little smoother.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him.
He enunciates a little better. So let me go ahead and do that one. We're going to download, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the second part, and we're going to auto-generate the acting, and we'll see what we're getting here.
So what shall we do today?
That's not bad. The voice expresses casual curiosity and slight interest. Let me go ahead and rename this too. This is, what are we on, 2? Yes. This is Avery, so it's going to be 2.1, 2.1 Avery, and then we're going to work on 2.1.1 with the second part. Let me play this real quick. I want to see how it sounds together.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him. So what shall we do today?
That's not bad. It's roughly around the same level. I think I do want a little change in his voice, though,
So what shall we do today?
Ah, now we're getting somewhere. Like the way he goes, so, like he's thinking out loud. So let me go ahead and download that one. I think we're going to go with that. And, if we absolutely have to, we can come back. We're not like stuck having to use these. We can come back and make a new audio line if we absolutely have to. As we're putting the video together. And you'll see kind of how the way I put it together, like our focus first is going to be on the audio to make sure like it sounds really good. It sounds natural. So let's keep going. Panel 3, Avery, copy, paste, auto generate, and generate.
What? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello?
Okay, that's this weird enunciation. That didn't make sense at all. Let's try generating again.
What? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello?
Okay, he's a little too angry. I'm going to add a comma before Bello. And I'm also going to add triple dots after what? I want him to take a breath,
What? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello?
What? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello? Like, I want him to, like, his voice to go up at the end because he's asking a question. So it's like, what? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello? More along those lines. My timing wasn't quite right there, but I think you kind of get the idea.
What? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello?
That's closer. Just for sake of argument, let's go ahead and save that one. But that's getting closer. Where like you want him to take breaths and the enunciation to be different. Where the way a question sounds is completely different to when you're just having just even make a statement versus a question. The sound of it is so much different, and we're trying to get the AI to do that for us and. Tricking, if you will, we're trying to trick him to do it the way we want. All right, grab a little sip of water. Let's try auto-generating the shock, dismay, and surprise. I got a feeling this is going to be over the top. Let's see what it sounds like.
What? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello?
Hey, that's not bad at all. Let me save that one. Did it save? I don't. There it goes. Um, that's a little bit more along the line. So let me play you the two just to get an idea of how different that is.
What? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello?
That was the first one. Here's the second one.
What? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello?
That's better. It's not perfect, but I definitely like the second one much better. The inflectuation and tone is really close.
What? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello?
Um, better. A little too high in the beginning, and not quite a good transition. Let's try one more time. This is going to be the pain in the butt line, I think.
What? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello?
Ooh, all right, that's not bad. Let's play that again.
What? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello?
Okay, I like that because that's the what is like a natural reaction. Like, what the hell are you talking about? You want to play my least favorite board game? But then his tone comes kind of back to normal where it should be. So I think we're gonna go with that one. So let's save. Let me make sure that's the right one.
What?
That's the right one. Rename. So this is gonna be 3.1 Avery. And I can chuck the other one. We don't need that one anymore. Avery 4. All right, now we're going to do Avery 4. Auto generate. Paste it in our copy. We're going to auto generate and then hit generate.
Connect 4. It's boring 3D tic-tac-toe. What's wrong with Mousetrap?
Okay, we're going to have to definitely do this in two parts. I can already tell you. What's wrong with Mousetrap is not on the same level as him being annoyed with with Connect 4. So we're definitely gonna have to do this in two pieces. So Connect 4, it's boring 3D tic-tac-toe. Kind of like should have that feeling to it. So let's try refreshing the acting. The voice has a bored and disinterested tone. I don't think that's quite right, but let's hear what it says.
Connect 4. It's boring 3D tic-tac-toe.
It's not what I envisioned in my head. I envisioned him to be a little bit more upset. It could work, but I want him to be, because remember now, Bello. Let's play Bello's line real quick. Oh, we have it in multiple stages. Let's just say, like, Bello's, he's a little bit more, and enthused is the wrong word, but the power of his voice is a little stronger. This feels a little apathetic. So let's try auto generating. Boredom, sarcastic, mild frustration.
Connect 4. It's boring 3D tic-tac-toe.
All right, actually, I kind of like that because that's very Avery-ish, where instead of like getting loud and yelly, he just gets really apathetic. So that might actually work. Let's try generate it one more time. Dry, sarcastic, and a little bored.
Connect 4. It's boring 3D tic-tac-toe.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and save that one too, just so we have something to compare. And then let's do the last one, or the last part of it. The voice conveys confusion, concern, and worry. Generate.
What's wrong with Mousetrap?
Nice. That's very natural, sounding like a question. I like the feel of that. So let's go ahead and download. And then go ahead and play.
Connect 4. It's boring 3D tic-tac-toe. What's wrong with Mousetrap? Connect 4. It's boring 3D tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, okay. He kind of, the way he says tic-tac-toe, like, sounds a little awkward. So we'll go with the other one. Let me make sure which one's
Connect 4. It's
Okay, that's going to be 4.1. 4.1 Avery. And then the other one is going to be 4.2 Avery. Or not 4.2, it's going to be 4.1.1 Avery. All right, so we've got all of our dialogue. So I'm going to go ahead and grab all of these. These are going to go into our folder with all of our art. Slide that in there. So you can see, like, now we have a lot of files. So me organizing those is a really good thing. All right, give me 1 sec. I got to go use the restroom. I'll be right back. Please hold. Sorry, I'm back. All right. Get the microphone back on. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so we got all of our dialogue. It's video time. Yay. This is really fun. This is where like it all comes together and really get to see it. And even just hearing the audio. So I'm going to use this is going to be the one I used from the last comic. It's always a good starting point. I like doing it this way. Oh, there we go. So this is all of our stuff. We've got different tracks. So the top one here is all of our visual stuff. Then we've got line 2 is our intro, outro. The audio, the bottom ones, all the green ones are audio. So that's going to be our intro, outro. Let me slide this over. And then we've got audio track 2 is our sound effects atmosphere. So I've created a track that has, audio effects on it. So it sounds like you're in a room. So it sounds like that it's more like a deli where you maybe have the hum of the fridge in the background. You have people, walking on the outside. You might hear the voices. It's pretty subtle. So the odds are, unless you have headphones on, you're never going to notice. But it's enough detail in there where it makes it sound even more real. So you can feel like you're actually in the deli. Then we've got our intro music. I don't know why I have that on Bello's track, but I think I just to save space instead of putting in a whole nother track. So Bello is audio 3. Then we've got Avery is audio 4. Then we've got a TV track, which we're not using, and also a Bubba track, which we're not using. So we'll go ahead and delete those guys out of there. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. This is the intro audio. So let's go ahead. Oh, let me do this. I am going to move my files over here on my other screen. I know you guys can't see it this second, but it makes it a little easier for me to get this put together. So we are going to, and let me delete, I'm going to go ahead and delete all the imagery, all of our panels. Here is panel 1 because they're all updated with the new info. So let me go back to the beginning. Dink, there you go. So now you can see, hello, I'm Bello. This is episode 29, board games. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take his dialogue that says exactly that. And remember, that's 0.1, the intro. And we're going to put that right below. And I'm going to move that over a little bit. And I'll go ahead and play it for you so you get an idea of how this works.
Hello, I'm Bello. This is episode 29, board games.
And then I have a little like click track in there, which basically tells you, okay, we're diving into the actual story now. It's a good audio cue, so you know that the story is starting. And next what we're going to do is let me go ahead and we'll do the outro later. Let's just go ahead and dive right in. Avery's the first one to speak, so I'm going to go ahead and line this up. This line right here is where it starts. I am going to shift the audio over just a bit, and I'll show you that once, I can actually show it to you now. Let me do that just so you get an idea of what the hell I'm talking about. This is something I learned doing video work with graphic images. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the audio and the image at the same starting point. So they both start at the same time. And you listen with your ears, and also, of course, you're looking at the screen, and keep an eye on how that works, how those two start at the same time.
Good morning, Bello.
Hey, where's Bubba today?
Okay, you know what? And just to mention, it's not as evident in the very first panel because you're going from black. But if you don't offset these, and maybe I'll show you once we get to line 2 in there. If you don't offset these, it's very distracting for whatever reason. Having both the visual and the audio start at the exact same time, your brain is kind of like jolted, like, oh, what the hell was that? And it takes you out of listening to it and really just enjoying it.
Good morning, Bello.
So if you get the visual first and then the voice starts, it's a much smoother transition. You can't really tell as well from this one because it's coming in from black. But once we get to panel 2, you'll really notice it. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. So if you see that I'm not lining up the audio exactly in the same spot, that's why. But I'm going to delete that. The one thing I want to do here is I want to focus on the audio exclusively. Um, if you think about it, think about one of your favorite movies, or next time you're going to watch a movie, um, and movie or TV show for that matter, close your eyes and listen to it. Just listen to it. No visual whatsoever. How well are you getting the story, and how well does it sound to you? Like, is it smooth? Is it natural? Um, that's what I'm trying to do here, is focus just on the audio, especially since we're using AI voices. I want it to sound really natural and really smooth. And if you had no visual, does it still work? Anyway, so that's what I'm doing here. As I'm just going to use the, here, let me slide this over. I'm just going to use the audio to get us started. And you'll see as I start playing this, how that comes together. So I'm going to get Bello. He's got line 2, and I'm just going to start placing these all on our tracks here, so we can get this thing going. This should be Avery 2.1. Then we got Avery 2.11. Let me double check.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him. So what shall we do today?
Okay, that's them. And then we got Bello. Wait, did I grab the wrong one? This should be Bello 2.2. And we're gonna adjust these. I want to get them on kind of our play field here, and then we're gonna move stuff around. Next is gonna be Avery 3.1, and then Bello 3.2. Then we've got Avery 4.1, and remember this one we have it in multiple pieces. Or wait, yep, there it is. So we got Avery in. Wow, I don't know why it made so much blank space after it. Let's close that up a little bit, and then we need Bello. Bello, I think we had Avery, and then Bello we had in 3 pieces, I think. Okay, there's 1, there's 2, and then there's 3. And then this is our outro. I can actually delete that. I'm going to slide this over a little bit more, so I got more room. I'm going to go ahead and put the outro right here, just so I know it's there. We'll get all that lined up later. So now what I'm going to do is I want to play this, and I want to listen to it a few times and figure out the timing between dialogue. So when Avery says his first line of dialogue, how soon after does Bello come in? And usually it's pretty much right on the money. There's nothing crazy, but depending on how much time you spend at the end of a sentence can drastically change how it sounds, inflection wise, or what it's doing acting wise. So let's just go ahead and play.
Good morning, Bello.
Hey, where's Bubba today?
He called in sick. Poor guy has the flu. He sounds really terrible.
Hope he recovers quickly.
All right, so right there, I know already. I want Avery coming in faster.
Poor guy has the flu. He sounds really terrible.
Hope he recovers quickly.
Okay, maybe just a hair too fast. Let's slide it over. There we go. And I think I'm going to have to bump up his voice a little bit.
Good morning, Bello.
Hey, where's Bubba today?
He called.
Okay, we want to tighten that up too. That's a little too long of a pause in between.
Hey, where's Bubba today?
He called in sick.
That's better.
Poor guy has the flu. He sounds really terrible.
Hope he recovers.
All right, and so we want to bring this in. This one needs to be tighter too. Like this is, back and forth, like you're having a conversation. So you want it to flow naturally. Sometimes there might be a little longer space. Other times you're just kind of firing right after the other.
Good morning, Bello.
Hey, where's Bubba today?
He called in sick. Poor guy has the flu. He sounds really terrible.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him.
All right, that sounds pretty good. I might take, let me double check here.
So what shall we...
Okay, we can have a little bit more space for the second part of Avery's line. I'm going to use, this is what, old school film cutting, they would use a razor blade to chop. So I'm going to chop it there, and I'm going to slide the dialogue over a little bit. And let's see how that flows now.
Terrible.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him. So what shall we do today?
I think we can give him a little bit more space. Like he's taking a breath and then so what should we do today? Like there's naturally a little bit more time in between those.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him. So what shall we do today?
See, it's like he's taking a breath and it's like, okay, now we can continue the conversation. We got the niceties out of the way, if you will, and now we're going to talk about something else. So let's go ahead and we are going to, no, I didn't need to click on that, but that's okay. It doesn't matter.
Round here without him. So what shall we do today?
What is your least favorite?
All right, definitely need a little bit more space because it's like Bello needs to think too. I'm going to go ahead. One thing I'm going to do here is it feels a little low for these tracks, these audio tracks of Avery. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use, I'm going to audio gain it. So it's going to be a little bit louder. I can either do the whole track or I'm going to do individual pieces. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go up 2 decibels, which is not a lot. And I'm going to do it for all of these audio gain. We're going to go 2 decibels. And that should give us a little bit more oomph for the 2 lines.
Really terrible.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him. So what shall we do today?
What is your least favorite board game, Avery?
That's such a weird question, which is great though. All right, so what's your least favorite board game? And then he comes in pretty hot, like what? So that should be pretty quick. So let's see.
What is your least favorite board game, Avery?
What? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello?
Perfect, because like immediately he's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" You know. So he's not going to wait to. There's not going to be a pause there for him to then say what. He's immediately like, "What are you talking about?"
Board game, Bello.
No, we can play anything.
All right.
Board game, Avery.
What? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello?
No, we can play.
All right, and then like I was saying before too, I'm going to up the audio gain just a little. He's like a little too quiet because he's upset. I'm going to go 3 on this one. Let's see how that sounds.
Board game, Avery.
What? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello?
No, we can play anything. Just wondering. Mine is Mousetrap.
Okay, that's a nice transition there between them. And bumping up his voice just 3 decibels just did the trick. Now they're kind of on the same volume level. I mean, obviously people speak at different tone, different volumes, but this is like the dialogue between them is a very even banter. So I wanted them to be relatively close. So let's see how then we got on the next line here. And this looks like we've got 2 parts. Let me go ahead and, whoops. Let me go ahead and move these over. This is our little outro tone. I'm going to expand my atmosphere. All right, and let's see what we got. I'm going to start here.
Game, Bello.
No, we can play anything. Just wondering. Mine is Mousetrap.
Connect 4. It's boring 3D tic-tac-toe. What's wrong with Mousetrap?
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption, it breaks. Then you chuck it in a closet.
That's not too bad. Here, I'm going to add we'll add the beep in at the end. Oh, wait, let me do one thing. There was a spot that sounded a little weird to me.
Just wondering. Mine is Mousetrap.
Connect 4. It's boring 3D tic-tac-toe. What's wrong with Mousetrap?
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption, it breaks. Then you...
Okay, and like I want him to speed up a little bit. I don't mind the pause here in the very beginning of Bubba's line, or Bello's line, but I want him to speed up a little bit, getting to the final punchline where he gets a little angrier. So I slid that over a little bit. So let's see how that sounds.
Mousetrap.
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption, it breaks. Then you chuck it in a closet.
All right, much better. You see how tightening that up sounds way more natural instead of having that weird pause in there. I think I might want to take down the pause in between them two a little bit, between the first and the second part.
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption.
Yeah, okay. It's a little too long in there for the pause. I'm going to slide it over just a hair.
Mousetrap.
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption, it breaks. Then you chuck it in a closet.
Much better.
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption, it breaks. Then you chuck it in a closet.
Nice. All right, see, that's much more smooth. And I'm going to go ahead and slide this over so you can hear it. So, and there's the little outro tone that I use to tell you it's the end of the story. There's no like the end or anything that pops up on the screen, but it's an audio cue. Okay, it's over. And then, of course, we get into the outro part too. But it's a nice subtle audio cue. And I use like a microwave tone, like when your food is done, which is, ties into the whole deli theme. But let's go back and we're going to start from the beginning. And we'll go ahead and delete that out of there. Again, I'm focused on just the audio, not the visual. I want this to flow as smooth as possible. So if you close your eyes and listen, does it sound like it's a natural, flow? As natural as it's going to be with AI.
Hello, I'm Bello. This is episode 29, Board Games.
Good morning, Bello.
Hey, where's Bubba today?
He called in sick. Poor guy has the flu. He sounds really terrible.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him. So, what shall we do today?
What is your least favorite board game, Avery?
What? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello?
No, we can play anything. Just wondering. Mine is Mousetrap.
Connect 4. It's boring 3D tic-tac-toe. What's wrong with Mousetrap?
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption, it breaks. Then you chuck it in a closet.
All right, that's pretty damn smooth. We could probably sit here and mess around with it some more, but I'm very happy with that. I think we can go ahead and let's add the visual, and then you can kind of get the feel for how everything ties together. I think that came out really good. I'm actually really happy with that. Let's bring in the visual, and I'm gonna have to move these around a little bit. So slide that over. I'm gonna zoom in so I can see a little better, and let's bring the playhead back to the beginning. And so we're going to slide this over. This is Bello's or Avery line 1, so you can see like the audio will match up with the image. Then I'm going to take this is going to be Bello, his line, and then like I mentioned, having the visual come in here. This is a perfect example. So having the visual and the audio kick in at the same exact moment is just something disconcerting about it. And I'll show you. I'll give you the example. So pay attention to the going from Avery's line to Bello's line and how the visual is exactly at the same moment.
Where's Bubba today?
He called in sick.
See how quick that is? Now watch. I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to watch it again, but here I'm going to take the visual. I'm going to slide it over just a tick. There we go. And watch it again. And again, so the visual pops up first and then the audio follows.
Hey, where's Bubba today?
He called in sick. Poor guy has the flu.
See how much smoother that is? And it's subtle. It's like, I mean, we're talking like milliseconds here, but it makes a big difference to how well, how well it flows, how well it feels when you're watching this. Like it feels more natural. So anyway, just wanted to show that to you because I find that kind of stuff fascinating, how some tiny little detail like that can make such a difference. And then this should be Avery. Okay, good. Next up, we got Bello. I'm going to, again, slide it over just a notch. I do this throughout. But I just wanted to show it to you because it's one of those little, weird tricks that unless you know about it, you're never going to think about doing that. So if any of you guys are ever thinking about making your own comic, and that's one of those little tricks you put in your back pocket to make it makes a big difference. All right, and then keep sliding these over. I'm going to go there, and then again, just going to. It naturally, like this program wants to line up against cuts. So I just hold on to it and push it a little bit until it starts moving past that like snapping point, if you will. Next one, again, snap, dink. There we go. Perfect. And then lastly, but not leastly, we've got the outro. Let me zoom out. Oh, wrong way. I always forget which way this, you got to slide the thing to get it to zoom out. We're going to add that there. And then this is a pre-made outro section that I already have. So I just placed the whole video. Let me slide the playhead over. That'll make our lives a little easier. Zoom in. And I'm going to slide this over. And then you'll see this is a pre-made track I did. So that way I can just place it in there. I don't have, like, I made the video, exported it, and I just place it in there. So that way I don't have to line all those last pieces up, because I have to literally do it the way I just showed you with the other stuff. It's saves a little bit of time and energy on the making the video. So here we go. We're gonna play it. We'll play the outro.
Closet. Comment which board game do you own but never actually play.
Please support us by liking and sharing.
And don't forget to follow.
Hi, I'm Seb, the creator of Bello Bear, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. And then there's a little outro from me, just to let people know that I go live, and just come watch me, just like you guys are. Trying to drum up some more, get some more people in here to chat and have fun and watch. And too, like, we haven't really done it yet, but we're gonna get into the writing stuff too. Actually writing the scripts, and like, I really want people to jump in there and give me comments and have some fun with it. I think it's a really unique thing. So you guys can actually be part of making this thing and coming up with ideas for shows, and which is it's not that or episodes. It's not that easy to come up with ideas for episodes, because with having one brain, you can only think of so much stuff. And that's why I really like working with the Claude AI, the AI writing partner, because I can be like, hey Claude, give me 20 nouns, completely random nouns, and so that way we can get some writing ideas for starting points for writing, which tends to work really well. Anyway, let's wrap this sucker up so I can get it posted. And you know what? We're almost there. We got about 20 minutes left. I usually try to do 3 hours, so we're not set on a timetable by any means, but I want to wrap up around 3. Then I can finish up. I can get this thing ready to post. We got to take the puppy out for her walk, because she's right on cue. Right around 3 o'clock, she's usually here. I'm surprised she's not here yet, bugging me like, hey, when are we going for walkies? So let's watch this a couple times. Usually what I'm doing, because I feel pretty good about the audio and everything. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just give it a second view, make sure I didn't miss anything, make sure things are lining up well. The other thing I want to make sure too is that the audio matches what you see, what you got going into your eyeball. So the dialogue boxes match up, because I did that a couple times, or I think one time that I missed something where I had taken out a word to make it fit better in the dialogue box, but I didn't copy my text back over to the script like we did earlier. And it wasn't like a huge deal, but it was something along the lines of, like, instead of saying, what is, you say what's. It was something simple. It wasn't that, but it was something simple, and it wasn't like a chain. It screwed you up. But if you're reading along and it doesn't match the voice, you're kind of like, what the hell? And it makes you stop. It makes you pause. It makes your brain go, bleh, and then you're out of the story, which completely is not what we want. So we'll watch it a couple times just to make sure we're happy with it.
Hello, I'm Bello. This is episode 29, Board Games.
Good morning, Bello.
Hey, where's Bubba today?
He called in sick. Poor guy has the flu. He sounds really terrible.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him. So, what shall we do today?
What is your least favorite board game, Avery?
What? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello?
No, we can play anything. Just wondering. Mine is Mousetrap.
Connect 4. It's boring 3D tic-tac-toe. What's wrong with Mousetrap?
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption, it breaks, then you chuck it in a closet. Comment which board game do you own but never actually play.
Please support us by liking and sharing.
Wait, does that?
Comment which board game do you own.
Which board game do you own? See, this is why we do this. He actually says, do you own? And it doesn't say it on there.
Comment which board game do you own.
Uh-huh. All right, see, this is exactly why we got to watch it a couple times. All right, let me go back. Which board game do you own? That's crazy. See, this is why you got to watch it a few times to make sure everything is right. Let's go ahead and adjust our spacing and all that fun stuff. There we go. That looks good. Gonna hit and save. I'm gonna go ahead and before I export again, I'm gonna go back and watch this one more time. I was halfway paying attention in the beginning. Let's make sure everything lines up and everything is correct, or all the wording is correct.
Hello, I'm Bello. This is episode 29, Board Games.
Good morning, Bello.
Hey, where's Bubba today?
He called in sick. Poor guy has the flu. He sounds really terrible.
Hope he recovers quickly. It's not the same round here without him. So, what shall we do today?
What is your least favorite board game, Avery?
What? You want to play my least favorite board game, Bello?
No, we can play anything. Just wondering. Mine is Mousetrap.
Connect 4. It's boring 3D tic-tac-toe. What's wrong with Mousetrap?
No one actually plays it. You set up the contraption, it breaks. Then you chuck it in a closet. Comment which board.
He sure is pissed off about that. All right, so I don't see anything else, so let's go. Oh, I should have left the playhead over there. There we go. So the nice thing is we can just update here. We're going to hit export. So we're going to export all of our PNGs again. Hit save, replace. Okay, export. Hit apply. We're replacing all the images. It does its thing. And then the nice thing is it should, boom, it updates automatically because we changed it. Like the program can see that the file was updated and changed. So I think we're good. We've got our video ready. So I think that that about wraps it up. Let me go ahead and I guess we can I'll do it afterwards. My computer's being taxed trying to do all the streaming. So I'm going to rip it after we're done. It speeds it up a whole lot. Let's go ahead and hide this app. So that's pretty much it. So then, I guess I'll show you this real quick. Let's go to, so I'm going to take out, I always put this on my desktop. You really don't need to, but I like putting the video and the 4-panel PNG on the desktop so I can find it easily. But there's one thing else I want to do. I am actually going to use another AI, and this would be Google's Gemini. I like using Gemini is really good for searching the internet. Obviously, it's Google. So, but I like using Gemini to give me hashtags for helping the comic go viral. So what I'll do is I'm gonna add my final comic. Tell her, hey Gem, can you give me 5 hashtags to go viral on TikTok? I like using the TikTok personally. That seems like my biggest following. So, but you could use any social that you want. And then I send that, and Gem's going to analyze it, and then give me based on what the comic is about, and then also just tags that are relevant. And that's interesting. It gave me Monopoly frustrations. We're gonna have to do something else there. So let's do web comic. We might change that. Board games, game night fail. Weird. Let's go with board games. Let's go with Connect 4. Sometimes it misses a little bit, at least in my opinion. I mean, I could be completely wrong. Those other hashtags are more relevant or they get more traction, but they don't connect directly with the story. So I'm like, let's change it. So we're going to do Connect 4. We're going to do Mousetrap. Like, I can't believe it didn't come up with that. Although it is a very old game. So that's 4. And then the last one we're going to use is, I think it's for your perusal is the FYP, but that's another big one for TikTok. So anyway, I got everything ready. So I'm going to export the video. I'll put that on my desktop, and then I have my 2 files. And what I do is I go to, let me pull up my browser here so you guys can see. I have I have a bunch of tabs saved. And these are all my tabs where I got to upload stuff. So I'm going to upload to YouTube. I start there. I upload the video. And I use let me pop it open here again, my notes. So what I do is I use this as my text for posting. So it's going to tell people, what the episode is. It's episode 29. It's Bello Bear episode 29, board games. And then I have my little one sentence synopsis thing to kind of give you an idea what you're going to watch or what you're viewing. So you kind of know what, at least what to expect from the comic. And then I also add the link to the YouTube version of the video. Like I said, I'm trying to get more followers on YouTube, more subscribers on YouTube. So I always add that in there. Plus, if for whatever reason, whatever social you're on, some of them they don't like you can't post videos directly to them. I think I've got like one or two where I do that. Yeah, it's Reddit and then Lemmy, which is kind of like the alternate Reddit, if you will. So I like adding that link there too, so that if somebody wants to watch the video version, they can. And that's pretty much it. So then I go through each social. I post the video version usually first. Then I post the 4-panel comic, the traditional one first. I go through all of them. I've got, what do we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I do YouTube, I do Instagram, I do Blue Sky, I do X/Twitter, I do Threads, I do Mastodon, which is like Twitter, but alternate Twitter. Then I do Reddit, I do LinkedIn, then I do Lemmy, which I was saying that's like the alternative to Reddit. And then I do Lemonade, which is TikTok's kind of secondary social site, and then I do TikTok, and I post all of them. So that way, anybody and everybody can see the comic because everybody's kind of on different socials. The only one I don't do is Facebook. For whatever reason, I had an account set up with them, and I was posting fine. And then they were like, "Yeah, sorry, you can't do that." And I'm like, "Okay." And so they booted me off Facebook, and bleep them. I get there's too many other socials out there, and honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of Facebook anyway. So, but anyway, so that's pretty much it. We're ready to go. Thanks for watching with me. I'm gonna wrap up exporting the video version. We're gonna take the puppy for a walk, I think, and then I'll get it posted here probably in the next half hour, 45 minutes, to to any and all socials. Hello, collector. How are you? You're just coming in at the very end. I literally just finished. We got I got the comics all ready to go. I got the video version ready to go. I just need to export it, and I'm going to post it to all the socials, and then we'll be back tomorrow for another stream. I think tomorrow we'll probably we'll do some writing, which I hopefully people are going to enjoy. I know it's kind of boring because we're writing and you're looking at text on the screen, but we're going to work on the actual script for the next comic. And I think it's really interesting because you can kind of see how obviously the art and the dialogue relate. Any of my fellow artist friends who have done any creative writing will probably get a kick out of that. And I always find it just fascinating how what you see on the screen or the TV, how that connects to the visual of what you actually see. How an actor will portray something that's on the on a written page. How that can be, when you read it on a written page, when you read a script, it can be so boring. I used to do some TV stuff and all that kind of things. I didn't do movie stuff, but I did some TV stuff with a couple other people, and we're mainly on the production side of it. I wasn't in front of the camera by any means, but did some so TV stuff and script writing, and it's crazy how what you envision and what you have in your head, what goes to a piece of paper, and then having somebody read that piece of paper and what they put into it, how that can just totally change the dialogue and what that's like. And you may envision, like when you're writing a script, you may envision one person, a specific actor reading that and acting that out, and then the final result is completely different. It's crazy how that happens. So anyway, I think tomorrow we'll probably work on some writing. We may just bang out the tomorrow is going to be Tuesday, so that's going to be a non sequitur Bello comic too. It's basically a single panel where Bello and Avery are doing open mic night comedy, and Avery gives them a setup. Bello hits the punchline or something resembling a punchline, and there's no real story involved to the main story arc like today's story arc was. Obviously, we talked about board games and tried to do something funny with that, but it was that Bubba is out sick. That's the kind of the continuing story of what happens day to day at the deli. So tomorrow we'll do the non sequitur bit. So it's a way for me to be able to have a little bit of time to still put out a really good comic, and hopefully something that gives you a good laugh. Honestly, some of my non sequiturs have done better than as far as views and stuff than the regular story episodes. But it's a good way for me to I can do them much faster is my point. So Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday gives me time to work on other Bello stuff. And obviously other work because like I mentioned, I'm still a full-time graphic artist. So this is my passion project and what I do on the side. So I kind of have to, borrow from Peter to pay Paul to to try to have enough time to do this stuff. All right. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. I really, 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 really appreciate it. Definitely say hi to me. I'm not sure if you guys on, so like I mentioned, I multi-stream. So I think I'm going to have to dump. I tried to stream to LinkedIn today. That did not work. So I think what I'm going to do is on LinkedIn, I'm just going to share the other streams. I do TikTok, I do Twitch, and I do YouTube. And did I say Kick? So I do like 4. So I think I'm just going to stick with those. And then any of my LinkedIn friends, you're going to have to find me over on one of those guys because LinkedIn, I thought I had it working and then it disappeared. So maybe tomorrow morning, I'm just going to do it like a tester to see if I can get it to work, iron out the kinks. But anyway, that's it for today. If you're on one of my live streams like Kick and Twitch, please go find me on your social of choice at Bello Bear Official. That way you get the daily comics. And that's it. I hope you had fun. We'll do some more tomorrow. And have a great day. All right, guys. See you next time. All right, now I got to figure out how to turn this thing off. All right, there we go.